I, you can set that up. I just am not good at this at all. I have a very duct tape and dental floss version of Twitch happening tonight. Because Aaron was like, I'm out. And I was like, oh man, that sucks. Okay. And then I'm sitting around starting to get prepared. I go, I have to take notes. No, that can't happen. I don't know how to take notes anymore. I ran a live game with my Dresden group. It was I don't know, a few months back. And it was a 3-parter. And after the game, I sat there and went, what happened? What? I don't know what happened in the game. Crap. Can you guys tell me what happened? Texting them. But
Yeah, I like your game notes. I didn't realize how long they were.
oh my god, I just like going back listening to it, and I try to like cut down on the repetition because sometimes you guys will go back and restate exactly what you've already said, and you guys will start that conversation again. And I try to cut down on that, but these notes, oh my god, there was just a lot of discussion.
There was a lot of conversation in that game.
Yep, and I didn't realize it until I was typing it. Cool. All right. So I guess before we get started, couple. Okay, music, you could stop now. I guess just a housekeeping question. Is Shane still here? There's a black box. Okay, there he is.
I am here. I am here.
One, and I'm not going to be offended however you guys answer this question, unless you guys for some reason like don't answer the question and just call me fat, then I might get offended. But I'm working on that. Are you guys having fun with this game?
I am.
Yes.
Yes. However,
Okay. I'm an adult. I can handle it.
it's actually not that. It's not a complaint about the game. It's just I feel so lost compared to traditional D&D.
It's so
that I'm
unstructured.
still- Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm still catching up. I'm like, what am I able to do?
I think that's a great way to put it, and I am 100% on board with Warren.
Okay.
I am in agreement. I'm lost, man. I've even gone back through and read the bootleg 3 more times, and it's like I'm still not even.
I think I'm just going to start throwing out ideas and have like James or Pappy be like, I don't know if you really have the right abilities to do that. I'd be like, okay,
That's probably a good
let's
idea.
try this.
Is it a rules issue or is it a coming up with an idea of how to use the rules?
It's just trying
Yes.
to figure out how the spheres or skills apply to what you're trying to do.
Exactly.
Think of the spheres like building blocks. Whatever you want to do, you can do within those spheres. Then your paradigm, which is basically your character's idea of how they interpret it, applies to how you do it. So
See-
basically, to make a fireball, you have to use forces. If you already have fire, you use forces 2. If it's creating a fireball, it's forces 3 plus prime to produce the energy.
And see, I
Depends
wouldn't
on
have
what you're
understood.
trying to do with the fireball. This could get into like little.
Y'all see why we're confused, right?
Technically, that could get into nitpicking. If you're actually trying to throw like a big ball of fire, that is definitely forces 3. Even if you already have fire. If you're trying
Hey,
to move fire, that's
No,
forces
no. I'm just doing D&D. Compare it to D&D.
3. Oh,
Making a fireball, everyone makes it the same way. Now, rules-wise, how your character interprets how they do it is the hard part. So, for my character, the Hermetic Mage, basically, I'm Harry Potter. I want wand, fireball, happens. For a shaman, they might have to have a little incense burning and speak to a spirit and invoke a flame elemental of some sort. So it's all on how you interpret it. A Sons of Ether would pull out a flamethrower.
See, I have less me personally. I have less problem with why does my guy feel or like how does my guy go about doing it. It's more of a mechanics like, okay, if I want to do something wacky, is that a mind thing? Is that a forces thing? Do I have to have matter because I'm moving something? Like, I am lost on the intertangling of the different spheres, I think.
Okay. For
That's for me.
No, that's good. That helps. I understand the hang up, and I want to try to help you guys get past this. This is a difficult role-playing game.
he did pick the hardest one.
True.
And
Though I
make
didn't
your
pick
rules.
the hardest role-playing game.
The hardest of White Wolf.
I would say the hardest of the 3 core of White Wolf.
Yes.
Because you still have Changeling and Wraith. And I don't think we're actually depressed enough to play Wraith, to be honest. Wraith is
just
a
the
hard
context
game.
associated with that word, I don't think I'd want to play that.
Is that the one with the crow?
Well, there is a ability to play a crow. That's not actually part of the core game of Wraith. Wraith, you're actually playing
Ghost?
a person that died. Yeah, and
I don't think I've played that one yet.
I have not either, and I have a hard time wanting to storytell it without ever either playing it or seeing it played, and I haven't seen any good games of it announced yet. So I've always been interested in it. I bought the book. I read it. I think it's an amazing world. It's like when I bought it, I was like, I'm not mature enough to play this. And I honestly don't think any of my friends would jump in on playing this with me, because it feels so depressing.
Would it be easier to start with another game?
I'm not sure I want to throw away. I mean, if you guys are having fun, I don't want to
didn't
throw
say-
away.
Oh,
this
no.
game.
No. I did not say throw it away, but like, I don't know, like a one-shotter, maybe a two-shotter, a vampire, a werewolf 20th, just to get the idea of how it works.
I think
Okay,
that
I
would
like-
confuse me more.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Because my problem isn't necessarily like life or health or any of those kind of mechanics. It's more the magic spheres.
Okay.
And I don't think you have specifically the magic spheres in Vampire or Werewolf. Like, you've got your skills and your abilities.
right.
And I get those. I don't have as much of an issue with the skills, like wits and whatever. Those kind of make sense to me. But the spheres, because that's so open worldish, that it's just kind of like, all right, well, I want to do something wacky and crazy. Like, in the example where we fought the ghouls, I was like, well, I'm going to swing my hammer through a shadow and I want to kind of twin it. And, I was like, this is what I want to do. You tell me if I
How to
even
make
have
it
the spheres
happen.
to do it or what I need to roll. Or, I feel like I'm just going to start kind of approaching things that way.
And that may be the best for all of us, Nathan, because that actually turned out really well. And
I thought that
I'm
was fun.
very, yeah.
It
And
did,
even if there was
but-
a oopsie on the damage because of dice applying in the
worked.
wrong area, even if they hadn't been like Gallaghered, I would have still been okay with it, just as long as it did
was cool.
what I wanted to do with it.
Exactly. And I'm very logical when I approach this stuff, and there's Pathfinder and D&D and every other game I've ever played, there's a chart. If you want this effect, it takes this and this sphere and this sphere. I don't even have a good guideline to go off of with that right now.
I understand. I was just playing D&D with you and playing White Wolf with James at the same time.
Yeah. So I think I'm with Nathan on that.
I think it'll just take a little bit of a higher learning curve is all.
Yeah,
seen
the
Warren try
mechanics
to-
aren't a problem. It's we'll get that down. We'll figure out what we've got to roll.
I've
but
seen Warren
it's-
try to get in a couple words a moment ago.
Yep,
I would
sorry.
like to give him a chance.
Okay,
No, you're all
sorry,
good. No, it's fine. Everyone was basically saying what I was going to say. The only other piece I was going to say is I don't want to leave this game. I was just saying that I'm struggling to think outside of the box because I've been conditioned to be inside of the box from D&D 1 for first edition all the way through second edition Pathfinder.
Gotcha.
So that box is what I'm trying to get out of. So I feel like I'm not living up to the potential of my character in situations.
Okay.
I agree, and honestly, I think that's why I kind of was thinking of respecing my character, because it's like, I can't really do anything with him. But it's not the character; it's me and my understanding.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are free to continue to respec. I did say game 5, but if you guys are having trouble with the mechanics, I completely understand. There is a reason why, like, you go to game conventions and stuff, and you mention, I play Mage, and people look at you like, what is wrong with you? I think the people that do the Mage podcast said it best. It's like we're fans of synchronized swimming. It is a sport, apparently. It is in the Olympics, and we're not really caring about the fastest swimmer or the best swimmer, but we kind of care about how it all flows together. And I was there going, oh, okay, yeah, I can see that. And then like another guy pointed out, like, oh crap, I can't remember what it was. It was like going to a fan convention and mentioning that you were something else, but now it just totally left me. I thought it would come back by the time I got to that point in the sentence, but yeah, it is a tough game, and I completely understand that. And so yeah, if you guys want to respec or whatever you guys want to do, cool. If you guys even want to just do a different character, like you're like, this character I just really can't get into, or I just really can't understand, and so this is something else that I can really understand, cool, we could retire that character and bring in a new character.
And, the more I thought about it and the more I reread the bootleg and, some of the streams I've watched, I think my character's kind of cool. He's very different. He's got a lot of potential. I just have to figure out how to play the game.
Okay.
So,
Warren, are you also with them on you're good with the rest of the rules? It's just the spheres that you're having problems with, or are you also having problem with the rest of the rules?
I feel for the most part I have the rest of the rules because it's fairly structured.
yeah.
Just the spheres, and it's almost like what is that, the choice paradox or whatever. I got 1,000 types of jam and I have no idea which one I want. But if
Analysis paralysis.
Thank you. If it was just grape and strawberry, I'd be like, I don't fucking want strawberry. I'll take grape. But what I'm looking at is I have 9 different spheres, and then Arate, and I have no idea what those possibilities are. Like I can like Nathan was talking about, I can dream up something crazy and then you tell me whether that's going to work. But I don't really have a concept of how to build those blocks together to make something without having to submit an idea, basically.
Okay.
I don't consider it a fault of the game, though. I consider it a rewiring of myself.
There could be a little give and take there for both. I mean, obviously people have figured out the game, so therefore it is possible. But I do think that some of the things in the game have been weirdly explained, especially with the game changing hands, I think 3 or 4 times. And it's one of those things, like if you've done any of your like outside studying, like you've tried to go into like the wiki or anything else, there's multiple people that have actually contributed to that. I do understand that it's just a lot of choices. I'm trying to think of how can I make it easier, I guess, for lack of a better word, or how can I help educate you guys on this? Or what can we
I
do?
think that Nathan was right, and I think, Warren and I have both agreed with him. It's like, hey, this is what we want to do. Here's my spheres. If I combine this sphere and this sphere, will this work? And you guys just may need to guide us for a while until we get a better idea of how
Have
it
you
works.
looked
I agree.
over the book how you do that?
I have, and I've looked through the wiki, and I've read the bootleg multiple times, but it just,
What about
there's not a lot of examples.
What about Enlightened Grimoire?
Yeah, the Land Grimoire had a lot.
I personally did not like how do you do that.
Well, it was more of a philosophical of how you do it. Is this what you want to do? And now we're going to apply the spheres to it versus here's the spheres. This is what you can do.
Yeah. My biggest problem with how do you do that is it took the paradigm of paradigm lowercase p of how the whole I believe in this, therefore my spheres have to match my beliefs.
True.
And that I don't like that version of Mage only because one, it could be completely broken if a smart person can think of a way to do everything that everybody else could do with correspondence to because they believe that they can, technically they could do that. I'm not sure if anybody actually has figured that formula out, but I've seen some people do some really crazy game-breaking stuff. And two, it is just so hard for me to keep up. If I can just say, okay, here's the rules and here's the mechanics of the rules, and we're all playing by the same mechanics, it doesn't matter what you believe. You might believe that a spirit animal is going and lifting up a cup for you. That's just forces. You don't need spirit for that.
Yeah.
Because all you're doing is lifting up the cup.
I'm good with a core set where we all have an even playing field. I'm good with that. And kind of like what we were talking about just throwing out stuff. This is kind of the few times I've asked questions before or after a game and I've like, if I wanted to do whatever crazy example, would I be able to do that with the spheres I have? What would I need to do that? Maybe we just need to come up with a few things that we think would be cool or fun for our character and just kind of throw you a couple of examples and you guys go, no, you would need one more point in this sphere, or yeah, you could do it with these spheres and this is how it would work, or something like that. That, at least to me, is sort of like level 1 or 2 spells in D&D where you understand the basics and then you can start to figure out the correct timing and where to apply them better. And I don't know.
I think that'd be a really good idea, actually. Get us used to how the spheres work together on a couple things that our character will be just. It's kind of like their basic move.
Yeah, a little bit of bread and butter kind of moves. Like for me,
missile,
one of my basic moves is I either teleport or I grab stuff through basically a teleport area. And that's just straight correspondence. That's fine. But if I want to do like what we were talking about, throwing an object and then looping it, does that start to take forces, or do I have to have matter even if I'm, and so the whole like locking it in place, not locking it, those kinds of things I think are where just giving some examples and having you tell us like kind of directly, this is what it would take. If you're doing anything over time, this is also what that takes, and kind of going from there.
And like what Nathan said, throwing it over there and having it loop around. I could see that being, matter. I could see it being forces. Hell, I could even make an argument for mind with telekinesis.
But telekinesis still uses forces.
I understand, but you see where I'm going with this.
Yes.
It's that unknown factor of.
So it's kind of how it works. If you use correspondence, you don't move the cup, you just make the cup fall through a portal.
Yeah, I'm using gravity to move the object of
and
whatever.
Then once it gets to the right speed, just change the exit portal.
Yeah,
I think we're all good on use of a single sphere, right, guys? It's when we start to combine multiple spheres for different effects, it's like, that's where I get lost.
Okay.
I think so too, because in a single sphere, I understand level 1, I can detect or realize that said sphere exists. Level 2, I'm a beginner in tinkering with that sphere.
And you can
level 3,
yourself.
I'm pretty good at that sphere.
And you can
level 4 and
others.
5 get into ridiculous, But when it's the interaction between them, it's kind of like, all right, well, I know if I want to move something with mind and forces, I know that the book says I need mind 3, do I need forces 2 or does that take forces 3? Does it depend on the size of the object as to what level of forces I need? Like, I don't know exactly where to budget into that other sphere.
I'm gonna need to reread the mind sphere. You really don't need to move that. You don't need mind to move something with your mind.
See, because the mind sphere, as the book is written, the mind sphere says you can do things with correspondence, with forces, with matter, with life, and they all apply to like telekinesis, pyrokinesis, psycho something. And so it's kind of like, what does mind and correspondence get me?
I mean, the only reason why I can imagine somebody using mind with another sphere, like for instance, like if you want to do telekinetics and you're gonna mix mind with it, I would see mind replacing a Foki. So you don't actually, in that case, you're just doing the whole, and that's not, you're not having to actually need an object to make thing lift and go. That's the only way I can imagine mind being needed for that. To lift something, if I want to summon the cup over to me, that's forces. If I believe that I'm doing it because of my mind, or if I believe that a spirit animal is doing it, or I believe I have some kind of tech that's able to do that, that shouldn't matter. It's just forces.
Okay. Because and this can come down to, respecking kind of potential too, but the way I read mind, I liked the ability to do the mental illusion-y projecting thoughts, and I liked the idea of potentially causing like almost like psychic damage kind of stuff from mind. And as part of my trickstery ways, not that I'm using it to throw people around like Jedi Masters or anything, but to move little stuff, or if I'm running for somebody to pull a chair or a bookcase or something, little things like that. I liked that, at least as it was written, mind kind of led me a little into that category. Now I've got 1 point of forces, so if I only need 2 to do some of those kinds of things, then I'm not terribly worried about it. But if it's going to take me like forces 3 or 4 to get into some of the moving stuff kind of category, then maybe I want to rethink some things. But then the other part is
should be able to get you what you need.
Okay. And then for the psychic kind of damage, like is that straight mind? Does that require life to actually hurt somebody? Like
No.
how do we explain how the thing actually happens if it's just a straight mind sphere?
However you want to explain it. So if you want to go to the whole Xavier route where you guys are appearing in each other in like this mind world and you guys are duking it out there, that could be how you're explaining it to happen. If you're thinking more, what was the other superhero or X-Men that would just do like a mind blast? And,
Jean Grey.
She could do a mind blast?
Jean Grey was a psychic, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
she
Jean
could
Grey.
stand in
Sorry,
for
I'm
Xavier.
thinking Katie Pryde for some reason, or Kitty Pryde,
Oh,
and I was like,
no.
what? No, she just ran through things. Yeah, no, or just Jean Grey like making people bleed from the eyeballs and ears. Yeah, you can. That's basically however you want to describe the mental blast happening. So
Okay.
when you attack with mind, you're attacking willpower.
Yeah, I get that, and that's part of the reason that I kind of liked it, is because typically willpower is probably a little bit weaker of a spot, because my guy's not a brute by any means. So he's not going to be going toe-to-toe, in a fist fight kind of thing. He has a little bit of melee stuff just because it fits his background story, but he's not going to stand there and be a tank or duke it out with anybody. So I liked the ability that he's a little bit trickstery, more confusing or changing the battleground kind of aspect, with the ability to do sort of like a ranged damage against like a magic defense kind of thing versus a physical defense kind of thing. So I liked that it affected willpower in that regard.
The example that we just talked about with just using mind to do a psychic blast, so to speak. When we were first talking about doing this, when we were reading through and we were having general discussion, I remember throwing out an example of using life to stop someone's heart. And then Pappy came back and said, well, you need life 3 and forces 2. And that kind of goes against the example of the mind blast. At least in my mind.
I'm not sure when we had this. If we had this discussion
It was
long time ago,
It was before Game 0. I mean, this is when you first put out the bootleg and you were still working on it.
Okay, so this was at least bootleg time. So before bootleg time, Pappy and I, we had some disagreements on how magic should work, and there was a lot of phone calls and text messages. And
Oh, yeah, I was on some of those.
so, but okay, yep, she's not my. Let's see. Do you guys, or have you guys looked over, and do you guys understand the levels of the sphere? It's one of the things that is on the cheat sheet. It's the second item on the magic page. I think that might be page 2.
I actually keep the wiki up to that page just so I have it for quick reference. But basically, level 1 is awareness, level 2 is self, level 3 is others and environment, and then you get godlike powers at 4 and 5. I haven't really studied those too much at this point.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit before we get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, level 1 is it's perceptions. So what you, like, all your senses. And you affect those things. So, like, you can look with matter. You can look at a building, and you can probably see, oh, these are the points that if we take out, that can bring the building down. Or with life, this person has cancer. Correspondence, I know where I'm at all times.
You could also perceive other places you can't physically see.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you mean?
Around the wall.
You talking about with correspondence?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Correspondence 1 you could see around the wall?
Yes, you can see in your general vicinity of. It's not really sight; it's more of a sense.
Okay.
Because
It's that there's a space behind that wall?
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah,
you know there's a being or a person behind that wall, because you sense a small locale. You've pretty much omnisensing, according to what everything was written.
Does that mean it's really, really hard to sneak up on somebody who has correspondence if they're actually thinking about it that way?
Yeah, I mean, I could see light, and this is part of the problem here, because I can't see you sensing a person with correspondence, but I can see you sensing a place. Like,
well, you're not sensing a person. You're getting
a thing. A thing has moved into the area.
And see, I don't even see that. I think that would be more life.
I'm actually with Shane on this one. I mean, if you're telling me that's true, I'll believe you. I mean, I'll look it up later, of course. But
because a lot of the routes that you look at involve correspondence 1, just so that like if you have a gun, I can sense there's a bullet inside your gun. Doesn't mean I can actually see it. I can still know it's there, and I can affect
just correspondence 1. That's not a matter thing.
No, that's no. I'm used. I can sense it. I'm not affecting it.
No, I mean
No.
matter 1. Matter 1. I would be able to tell you how many bullets are in your gun.
Yeah, and
Correct.
just like
Correspondence, I don't think should be able to tell you that.
I mean, you may be able to sense a vacant space or
correspondence.
a place.
You can tell this is exactly how far away the gun is from me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because a lot of the things I was looking at was basically saying that with correspondence 1 gives you almost gives you a sixth sense of what's around you.
Well, shit, I definitely should.
I could see, like what James was saying, correspondence 1 being a sense of location of things around you. I don't know that I would say, if we're going to use it in that manner, I don't know that I would say that tells exactly whether there's a round in the chamber or not. But
yeah, I mean, I could see.
I could see matter certainly doing the round in the chamber thing.
I could definitely see,
Okay,
hey,
so-
there's
So
a
it does
space
say
behind
that
this
you
wall.
could-
Immediate
using-
spatial perception, landscape of the mind. Basic spatial understanding allows a mage to sense things in her immediate vicinity, even if she cannot perceive them with her normal senses. Using this perception, she can estimate the distance between objects, intuitively find the direction, note hidden objects or characters, and spot spatial instabilities, warps, anomalies, wormholes, etc., especially the ones caused by other correspondence effect.
Yeah, those are spatial and.
Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
that's just telling. Like,
basically being able
let's
to
say somebody was invisible and walked into the area. I would know there's something off about that space.
there's a
Correct.
distance between me and something that's there.
Correct.
Yeah, there's something there, and just like, so if somebody sneaks up and pulls a gun, I might know that they have started to brandish some weapon, and they have snuck up. But I think I would agree more on the matter aspect of details as far as that one specific example of rounds in a chamber or something
True.
like that.
Mhm.
But that's why a lot of times when you do level 1 spheres, you combine them with other spheres to give you a better picture.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, if you want to use correspondence to say that dude is exactly 27 and a half feet, he's behind me, I didn't really see him, but I am pretty damn sure he's there. Combine it with matter or forces or something to start a,
So, like my character has correspondence 1, life 1, and mind 1. Simply to perceive someone there, verify who it is, and see if it's sentient.
Okay, you've got these super senses, right, Trenton?
I have heightened for sight, hearing, and smell.
What does that come from?
That is an actual ability point.
Oh, okay, it's not one of your powers. Okay.
No, I have it also for vision.
And see, what is the definition you're looking at? Because on the wiki, it states that it raises the mage's awareness of space to determine the exact directions and distances, as well as distortions of the same. Allows locating things that the mage cannot perceive with their human senses.
Mhm.
I think
wouldn't
that's
think that would help you detect someone that was sneaking and...
I'm reading right from the Mage 20th edition book.
Okay.
it's
No,
also
I-
in the Mage 5 book. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the definition Shane just read is how I've always interpreted.
That's
correspondence
exactly
one.
how I interpreted it.
I mean, they're kind of close to the same.
I think that yes, it would allow you to detect somebody sneaking up on you though, because you would feel, not to go crazy, you would feel like a disturbance in the local vicinity.
Yeah.
That there's something that just moved into said area. You have no idea what it is.
Well, let me ask this.
I mean, somebody
Wouldn't-
could have shoved a refrigerator into your little bubble of whatever. I mean, you just that something is now in your sphere that wasn't there before.
So with life 1, do you know someone is in that sphere, or with mind 1?
Sorry.
Um,
Life 1, you
mean-
know somebody's in that what?
In that
area,
bubble, like if you combine
Yes.
correspondence in life or correspondence in mind.
or just life.
Well, depends like how far away. Well, correspondence.
Yeah, we're not going like
No, okay, so if
Yeah,
they're in the
500
same
feet
vicinity,
away.
you could use life to tell, okay, there is a person in this area. You could
Or yeah, there's a person behind that door. Or
Okay.
a living object, possibly human. And then if you want to see if it's sentient, use mind.
Okay,
Surface thoughts.
I could dig that.
Did you ever read Dresden?
I don't
No.
think you know exactly where somebody is with life. You can tell that there is life in the area.
yeah. I would say
Well,
you would need.
So,
I'd
like,
say-
you
I
could
would
be
say
in a
you would need
room-
life and correspondence
You could
to
be in a room.
locate a person.
Yeah,
Then-
you could be in a room,
Basic-
and you can basically, if there is you and I don't know one other hidden person, you could sit there and go, there are 2 people in this room, but I only see me.
Okay, well, it says basic life knowledge allows a person to read presence and the health of nearby life forms.
And that doesn't tell you exactly where they are. You just know, like in James' example, you just know there is a living entity in this space. I don't know what direction.
Okay.
Correspondence would tell you the direction.
Yeah, it says by combining the perceptions with other spheres, he can also sense distant organisms, correspondence to guess their potential for sickness or misfortune in entropy 1, perceive them through past, future for that, or read the stream of quintessence by another prime.
Okay.
So I could say
think-
I would
probably
say with
sense-
I would say with life 1 and correspondence 1, you could tell there's an invisible person in the room, and they're right there.
I would agree based off what you're telling me, and
I don't think correspondence 2 is needed.
Correspondence 2 would be there is a person in my house, and they're hiding down in the basement.
Correspondence 2 expands
far
the
away from it.
range.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you've got life 1 and correspondence 1, and you're in a
can
12 foot
pinpoint
by 12 foot room, you know where that other living thing is.
Yep.
And then mind would tell you if it's human, a squirrel, a whatever. Mind could narrow that even further if you
There's an
wanted to go
invisible
down
squirrel, you're in trouble.
there. Yeah, there's some problems. It doesn't have to be invisible. It could be like, shit, what the hell was that noise behind that box? Yeah, we're okay. We don't have to bother with that. Or, nope, that's a fucking demon dog. We should probably slowly back out of the show.
Well, and I
squirrel
think
demon
that, I have not read through the Mage 20 5th edition manual. I have not done that. And I think that's something that will really help me, because the description that Happy read for Sense Life versus the description that the wiki has, completely, well, I won't say completely different, but a whole lot more information is there.
So keep in mind, Mage has gone through 4 iterations.
Right.
The version that I have in the 5th edition bootleg is copied right out of Mage 20. With only just slight minor updates of things that I actually knew I changed in 5th edition.
Okay.
But that's going to have what you need.
It's straight out of Mage 1, you said?
Mage 20.
Page 20.
20.
Mage 20, okay.
Yeah, 4th edition. So yeah, I copied it straight out of there, and then I just made minor slight updates as I was going along and saying, oh, okay, this is something I changed, or this is not how correspondence or not correspondence, quintessence works in this game. So I made slight changes there. But there's actually a couple things where I, like Nathan pointed out something last game about Mind. I completely missed that when I first read Mind. And that's just not how the game works right now, so I had to make some adjustments there. You were
What did I point
had
out?
different difficulties, and I only have a static difficulty.
Oh,
It was
for
either the
mine
last game or the game before. Yeah.
kind of stuff? Yeah.
But okay, that was actually a good conversation about perception.
Like reading somebody, if I want more than like a one-word answer basically off of them, it starts escalating the difficulty, and especially if they start trying to shield or resist against being read, which is something I do for gameplay wise. I don't know how to do it, but that's something that I want my guy to kind of be base level shielded, almost at all times. I don't know.
That's just a reaction. So if somebody tries to invade your mind, you're getting a mind roll to block it.
Okay. Yeah, because I was rereading Mind to try and figure out if that's really where I wanted to go 3 points deep into, and I was rereading some of the first level stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, I completely forget about the fact that like I'm base level with Mind 1, kind of aware of lies, kind of aware of if somebody's trying to manipulate, and all these little things. So I just want to kind of try and build that as like a natural, permanent walking around the streets, slightly stronger than normal defense from that perspective. And Warren looked like he wanted to say something again. So I feel like we keep just steamrolling right over it. It's like, no, you sit over there in the corner. It'll be okay.
It's okay. I just don't like talking over people, so I just wait. I do have a question, though. So I remember in the park, we talked about me trying to take out the energy that they were given by the vampires, the ghouls. I can't think of what it was called.
Okay.
You said they're energized by
Vitae or whatever.
Vitae, yes. Why was that life in prime rather than life in entropy?
Because the Vitae itself is a magical. Is
okay.
magical.
So let's say I see someone and I want to cause a aggressive cancer in them. Would that be life in entropy?
Yes.
Or are they just life? Okay.
Life and entropy.
Because
All right, so I'm beginning to understand.
Life, like if you want to stop somebody's heart, you should be able to do that with life alone.
Yeah, I think it was like 3.
3 affects others. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're trying to hit them with something a little bit more coincidental, like, okay, they're now going to get an aggressive cancer, life and entropy. And
what would life and matter get you?
Cyborg.
Clogged arteries.
Turn somebody into a lawn chair.
Turn somebody into it? No. Like, if I want to affect, or maybe matter doesn't even get you much. But if I wanted to affect somebody biologically, but let's not go down cancer route. Let's say I want to, and this gets a little nerdy, but I want to take the naturally occurring prions that are in your body, and if they are flipped, because there's like a cellular switch basically that can happen in them, if they are flipped, rather than being beneficial to you, all that naturally beneficial bacteria, they start eating you alive. And that's basically what Ebola and all their shit is.
Bacteria is a life.
So is that just straight a life thing then?
Yes.
Would it be life, or would it be life entropy? Just like because cancer is.
But I'm not speeding or messing with the time aspect of it. All I'm doing is just changing the actual makeup of said object, and just letting them do what they do at their natural rate.
It's
I think that's life 3.
I could see an argument for either. Like in this case, I would accept like so the case of like an aggressive illness, life and entropy, because now you're making some kind of coincidental almost effect.
Yeah. I'm taking something that wasn't there.
Like impossible, or not impossible, but not. You're doing a vulgar effect. I can say, okay, yeah, life 3. I think I would accept.
And it wouldn't kill you immediately. None of this would not be something I would do to win a 2-round battle, because it ain't gonna work, But it would be like almost like you think of like the Stephen King or some of those other things, curses basically. It's like, bam, you're stuck with this. You're not gonna notice it for a day, a week, a month. I don't know. But I've shifted the biological makeup of some part of your body.
Yes, you can. It's going to be life 5.
5?
Metabolic mastery. You can create the. I'm sorry. Where'd this go? Damn it.
I'm not turning them into a tree.
Shit, if that's
No, but it says
that, but I don't
you can
think
create the
there's
effect of any drug, poison, or metabolic production, even if the isn't present. It basically directly manipulate the body's receptors.
So what keeps you just from using?
Well, that
forces?
sounds like DNA splicing to me, almost. Like,
yeah,
I could see that being like 5.
So okay, I think it would be the effect. The effect here is that you are cursing somebody with their body doing something over time.
Yeah.
And that
is that one of those like you're sticking it to them that requires prime or whatever those other things are?
I feel that the entropy might still be needed here because you are cursing them, and especially because you use the word curse, and that's definitely an entropy.
Well,
thing.
I was just throwing that out there.
Yeah, but by you saying that made me go, okay, it really is the same thing as the aggressive sickness taking over, or aggressive disease taking over. You have the exact same effect going on, so it would be the same.
It just doesn't happen as quickly as with entropy, though. Like with entropy, if all of a sudden this dude has stage 4 lung cancer when he was perfectly fine 3 minutes ago, I definitely see entropy or time, or however you want to play that, being a part of that in life. And both of those being pretty high required spheres to do something that detrimental that quick.
You have control to say, like, this is how aggressive it is. So
well, yeah.
Even though you're changing the aggressiveness, I would still think that you would be connecting it to the person with entropy, because you're changing their fate of how their body's going to continue to react.
Okay. So I can definitely see it from the fate perspective.
So what if you use forces and hit somebody with a high level of radiation and they concoct cancer? Is that just a side effect? So it's more of a
Is you going
A
Manhattan?
quint
Man, or whatever
instead
that
of
guy
a
is?
vulgar.
So if
like
you
it.
blast him with radiation, that's story wise if he gets cancer or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you've done is
You've tipped the scales, but
No,
you
no,
don't guarantee it.
you've
Okay.
created something with magic that can be done in real life. So like, if you, let's say, had a big
So it's
radiation gun, I don't know, you had a big radiation gun and you decided somebody and you wanted to call them Bruce Banner or something and shoot them with it. Um, and then instead of turning into the Hulk, they get a cancer and die. That's done completely without magic. But you're using magic to create that radiation effect, and that's the only thing that's changing in that
Okay.
scenario. Instead of getting a radiation gun, which is like near impossible, you've done it with
Um,
magic.
A
They're
lot of
called
things,
microwaves, but they
so-
cook people.
a
So.
lot of things I've seen in games for harming with life is deal with entropy, but basically life 3 ripped the man body.
Yeah, I mean, now if you wanted to, if you wanted to be like B horror movie somebody where you did the exact same effect and you watch them start getting eaten alive by their own bacteria right in front of you, yeah,
That's
totally
entropy.
Life 3, and it's happening
What,
as
Entropy 3?
No, Life 3, and it's happening as an instant effect because basically Life 3 is rip the man body, and all it's doing is you're using life to tear them apart. However you want to describe that, that's 100% up to you. But it's an instant effect. It's not something that you're cursing them with, and it's going to happen over time. I am dealing 8 points of damage to you, Mr. Muggle. I'm going to watch you die in the street. And you just watch their body start eating itself.
Okay.
Granted, you're getting a ton of
Paradox
paradox getting
and-
thrown at you. But,
It accomplished what you wanted.
yeah. But if you're cursing them with something to where their body just naturally did this, even though it's a little bit like doctors would be like, "What the hell? I have never seen this before," then I would say that's kind of a curse and that's a fate thing.
Okay. I'm good with the fate aspect of any kind of overtime life damage stuff.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I think I have a stronger understanding.
Yeah, the thing with
Yeah, much
entropy
better.
is you can't, from what I've been reading, you can't determine exactly what it does per se.
Unless
No, I
you
can't
use
say,
entropy
like-
with it.
I can't say you're going to die in 3 months exactly to the day.
Yeah.
I could be like, here's a ballpark range in
That's-
that general
I
direction.
would kind of allow it based on the amount of successes. So, like, I'm imagining, because I have to step back to the Witch's Cauldron when I think about entropy. And you're sitting there and you're throwing in your materials and you do your spell, and in your spell you have a rhyme that says, by the third month or by the third moon pass, this will happen to you. I mean, you're kind of creating that here is my time. And if
Here's
you're
your
getting
time
enough
frame.
successes, I think that would be totally acceptable.
I could
You-
also
you-
see
you
it
went
with a
toss in the
lower.
time sphere.
I'm sorry, Pappy?
You went tossing the time sphere on that one.
I don't
Time
think you need
sphere-
to if you had
well-
a high enough entropy.
Well, okay, so you're using duration to create that. You're
Sure.
splitting up your successes to put that in duration. Now, if you're trying to do something where nothing happens to them for 3 months,
Okay, a pause on the effect.
yep, then you pause the effect, and so you're going to need time
Okay.
for some ridiculous reason. But since nobody took time, I'm not going to worry about.
Oh no! Just give me enough time, and
No,
I'm
no.
going to start playing with it.
No, don't play
It's
with
going
time.
to get stupid, and I may just disappear entirely.
Oh,
But I'm going to start playing
Yeah,
with it.
time's the worst one to play with.
No,
I'm, a
I'm totally playing with it.
I'm a Doctor Who fan. I've watched enough Doctor Who. I think I can handle time.
No. Time is something I definitely want to play with. I want to get other stuff and have fun with my character before I do something absolutely ridiculous with him and potentially wreck things.
Yeah, when you see Wrinkle, let me know.
Wrinkle
Because
is
I
the
totally
spirit of
want to
time.
do, I want to do matrixy like kind of crap, which is what, time 2? I think is what the book listed.
Oh,
Like,
what you want to do, like the dodge multiple bullets thing?
slow things down just a little bit, just to be able to react, and combine that with as high as I have in mind already in wits.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be retarded. He'll be able to slow down and be like, "Damn, that was forever," as far as my perception goes. But
The new PC word for the R word is presidential.
Presidential. Oh.
It's going to be presidential.
Um,
Oh,
yeah.
So
Um,
on a side note though, so just because you know how the sphere works doesn't automatically let you do it per se either. You need the
No.
knowledge of how to do it.
Yeah. It still has to fit your paradigm, and you still
Correct.
have to be like James was saying. In order for you to advance high into spheres, there still needs to be a storyline background
A
of how
skill.
your person
Yeah, like
gets
you
to
tell
that
them to
point.
flip the whole bacteria thing. You'd need some kind of biology skill for that.
You would need to understand
Yeah,
biology or human anatomy or something in
correct.
depth
Mm-hmm.
in order to make that work, and still have a paradigm that fits with it. Like,
Oh yeah, there's actually a section in the book that I left of like, dude, do you know how to do that?
Yes.
Or something along those lines. But I remember copying that over because that is kind of important that you understand what is kind of happening. Now, granted, if you're just like saying I'm cursing you with the life thing, and that's in your
Different.
paradigm, okay, that's different. Anything could happen to them. But
if you're going to go into detail, like I gave for that specific prion
Correct.
example, then
Yeah.
you need to be able to explain character-wise
Yeah, that's why
how he
entropy.
understands that.
That's why entropy and life play a big part together for that stuff.
Well, that's why I put a little tiny point in physics, because that's how my guy's paradigm kind of works. He may be dumb about a lot of things, and he may not be, he's actually pretty smart. He's just not like ultra book smart.
Gotcha.
But physics, for some reason, is fun and fascinating to him. Not that he's got it 100% right, but to him, it's good enough, and it works for him. So that's how his character gets away with some of the like quantum mechanics kind of stuff that his paradigm deals with.
Gotcha. All right, so Shane, you need to take care of something.
Thanks, man.
So I do have another question I want to ask, but I'm going to ask that after next break. So if we get to the end of the game tonight and I still haven't asked, remind me. I want to have a quick small discussion with you guys on that one.
Okay.
So this story is starting the night after the ghoul attacks. Vic just dropped Sani off at his home, or wherever Sani would want to be dropped off at. Where would you have Vic drop you off at?
The hotel. I've been living out of the hotel.
Which hotel have you been staying at?
Oh, God. You would ask that.
The one.
Or what kind of hotel would you be staying at? You don't have to look up
It's
exactly.
a more upscale hotel. It's in the downtown area. I can't remember the name of it.
Okay.
But it's the one I've been staying at since I was working for the casino.
Okay. Are you kind of a minimalist type of stay person, or would you have made this hotel your home?
Oh, it's a suite, but it's nothing fancy. My clothes are hanging in the closet, and I have laundry service, but other than that, the fridge is empty, and I'm always going out to eat.
Okay. So yeah, you just had a night of fighting off monstrous ghouls. The next day, you were planning on meeting up with the rest of the crew to talk about what you guys just seen and what's been going on in the city. Do you have any like nightly rituals or anything that you do before you head off to sleep?
No, not really. Every once in a while, I'll get Coyote in a conversation and go from there.
Okay. Does he initiate them, or do you call him at times?
I call him, but he usually doesn't answer.
Sounds about right.
He's kind of a dick.
The next, so yeah, you head off, or you do whatever you do, and then you head off to sleep. The next morning, you wake up with a feeling that someone is nearby. Someone is there.
My life one is tingling.
When you kick in, you wake up and you can sense with life you can sense that somebody is there, but with your entropy, you don't sense that you're in any danger.
Okay.
When you head out to the living room, you see somebody that you haven't seen in a long time. Tell me about somebody that you knew or that you know from the euthanatoi, but you just never really got along with. Maybe their beliefs in how the euthanatoi work are different than yours, or maybe they just enjoy the killing too much.
Okay. The guy's name's Quentin Hardy. He's just he's kind of a radical. I think he might be a little bit insane. We just do not get along, and I'm tempted to pull my gun on him because he's in my place.
Was there something that happened between you two?
Not physical, but there was always verbal confrontations.
Okay.
Just very insulting to each other, and the more people were around to see it, and the quicker the wit, the more points were scored by the opponents. That type of thing, just verbal sparring.
Gotcha. Yeah, so when you come around the corner, you see him, and you pull out your gun. And he's sitting there, and he's in a chair, leaning forward, and you see in his right hand, he's loosely holding his gun as well. And
What the
he
fuck are
looks,
you doing in my hotel room?
He's like, they sent me for you.
Why?
Are we going to continue doing this at gunpoint, or?
I don't know. You didn't knock on my door. Why are you here?
For a question for you, do you tend to knock on other people's doors?
Usually.
He sets his gun down on the coffee table next to him, and he's like, "You felt it, haven't you?"
Yes.
The Oracle has come for a visit, and we reached out to see who's all has felt it. And, well, they sent me for you.
Where?
They wish to meet at the Chantry.
I'll meet you downstairs. You can leave now.
Don't take too long. The ride's on its way.
Very well.
Picks up his gun, puts on his hat, and steps out the door. He has a hat now.
What is this dude's name?
Quentin Hardy.
Okay.
I don't know why, but that popped in my head really easily. So
I don't know. It was really cool. I thought you had him like pre-planned out and everything.
I like it.
No.
You said Quentin.
like,
I
wow.
immediately look over at the backstory list, and I sat there. Nope, he's not on there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think in my backstory at all there's anybody from the Euthanatoi. There's one person, and that was it. And I think he's dead, so I had to come up with something off the fly.
I like him, and I like the accent. I like all of it.
I'm going to shut the door behind him and lock it and throw the chain and say, what a dick. And then I'm
And
going
then,
to
like
get
a
dressed.
small cutscene on the other side. As soon as the door closes and he hears the slide of the lock, he's like, "What a dick!"
What a dick. Yeah, I'll get dressed and I'll, meander downstairs. I'm not going to be in a hurry for this guy. I know it's on the behalf of the Chantry, but I'm not in a hurry because it's him.
Okay. While you're getting dressed, you remember you remember that, oh yeah, you were supposed to meet up with the rest of the crew, but this could probably take all day. So you decide to probably pop off a text to Vic.
Yeah.
You probably still have one of those Nokia phones, so you're having to push buttons up to 3 times before it actually gets the letter that you're looking for.
Exactly. It takes me about 15 minutes to write the text message. Busy today, heading to Chantry, catch up later. And that took 15 minutes for me to send.
If you read over the recap, you would see the way that I typed it
I
for
was
you.
going to say, did you read the text that you sent?
That's what he intended.
I got about halfway through, and I actually had to stop, and I haven't finished.
You
I'm
should
so
read the
sorry.
text because it's really damn close to what you just said.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna do it right now.
That's what he attempted, but
Yeah. It's like,
um,
Oh, no.
and I liked Vic's commentary back too. That I thought was very
I
fitting.
couldn't quite hear what Pappy actually said, so I was just like, here we go. This sounds good enough. And also it was like a whole week since I heard it versus I was typing it.
Gotcha.
All right, so he's downstairs outside by the curb, waiting for you when you finally get ready and come out, smoking a cigarette.
Okay.
And you could see, like, as soon as like you come out, he just reached the end of his cigarette, and he throws it out, and he's like, "All right, it's here." As you're seeing the car pull up, at just the right entropic time.
I was gonna say, damn you entropy bastards and your perfect timing on everything.
I'm gonna basically, say you're still littering everywhere. Just to mess with you.
He points out, all of Seattle is littered. What's one cigarette gonna do?
And I'm just gonna get in the car, shut the door behind me, so he has to walk around the other side.
He sees you do that, and he's like, "Of course." And he walks around, gets in. The drive there, it's mid-morning-ish. He's like, I feel violence on you. Are everything okay?
Everything's fine.
Good. I
You
don't
said
need
he
you
feels
messing
violence
this up.
on me? Is that what you said? Okay.
He was like, good, I don't need you messing this up. This is important.
What do we know?
Well, I was on a bolt, a ferry ride, when I fell.
I just read Vic's response.
Oh.
Okay. That's great. Alright, sorry. I had to...
That's okay. He says, I was on the bolt when I felt it. Near the northern... what district is that? Flare. This is James, not remember.
What
Hang
was
on,
that?
something loud just happened in the house. I'm so sorry.
Stupid real life.
Oh, he's getting in the way. Yeah, their Catalina and their VPN protocols, man, they're using stuff now that's still under development as part of their build in Catalina. It's amazing. We don't use it for work. I occasionally use one on my computer, and it just kept failing. I actually had to search the internet to figure out how to increase the cache size.
Yeah.
And then it started working, but it was
I mean,
a pain in the ass.
that's cool and all, and I get that it's better to be on the front edge than the back edge, but at the same time, you can't just be like, here's the cutoff, we're only using things higher than us, and it's like, cool. What do the other 80% of folks who have an already established product use? Like,
Oh.
did you think at all about any like back compatibility when you did that? Like,
We had to update QuickBooks. We have been running the same version of Office since 2011. No joke. So everybody had to switch over to 365. I am completely paperless in my office. And I use a Fujitsu ScanSnap no longer supported. They're working on software. So right now I'm scanning everything in piece by piece through my printer. It's like, God, this sucks. And it's slow. I thought the upgrade to Mojave was bad from High Sierra, and Catalina is horribly slow. It's just getting
Just
too
like from a
heavy.
system performance perspective, or just
Yes.
so big?
No, just a system performance perspective. I mean, click on an icon and wait 30 seconds and it'll load. You know, it's
That's no bueno.
No, I'm not happy at all. As a matter of fact, when I installed it on my computer, I had it downloaded. I started the installation at 4:48 in the afternoon. At 1:09, 1:15, something like that, it finally finished and it went to setting up your Mac. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to sleep. 7 o'clock, I got up and it was still setting up my Mac. I had to actually hard boot it and it finished. So that's the
That's
reason I didn't
horrible.
update any of our machines after. Yes.
Okay, you might want to go ahead and get that thing started. This is going to take me about 15-20 minutes.
You guys okay?
Yeah, somehow a plant flipped over in the living room,
Ah,
and there's
gotcha.
crap everywhere.
Okay.
Well, I've got 6 of the 8 done, so it'll only take me a couple of minutes.
Okay, I'll be back as quick as I can.
All right. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I waited, because I knew that they had an issue with their installer. So yesterday I noticed they came out with a bug fix for their Catalina installer. So now I don't mind rolling it out at the location that's 10 hours away from me. So I just did not want to have to call the manager in on a Saturday and say, hey, I need you to go hard boot your computer.
I'm locked out of your machine. Can you?
That's the worst.
It's horrible.
And that's actually why I left Vine Server, because you actually have to have somebody receive it on the other end before you can take control.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
don't-
you can set up TeamViewer that way. Like, TeamViewer has what they call quick support, which is what we use a lot in our company, where it just loads a real quick, tiny file. They don't have to have admin privileges to launch it, and it can get us in there to help guide or make a couple of quick changes or whatever.
Yeah,
But the quick support does not do the reboot,
admin stuff.
some of the higher level things, But you can install the full client, and you can even set the full client to start when Windows loads, or I'm assuming probably Mac. We don't use it very often on a Mac, but it does run on a Mac. They've even got it so it'll run on mobile phones.
Oh, that's
So,
sweet.
like if an iPhone or an Android phone is having an issue, let's say like setting up their Outlook or something on their phone, if you pay for a high enough or add the package onto your license or subscription, then you can do mobile phone
Mobile
tech
phone.
support through it. Yeah.
Can you connect to a PC or a Mac through a mobile phone? That
Yes.
might be handy. Okay.
Yes.
So if I have it on my Mac, my PC, and my iPhone, I'm golden.
You're pretty covered. Yeah.
Sweet. I'm definitely going to look at that, because LogMeIn is just getting...
LogMeIn is just too many damn steps. That's
There
my
are.
biggest problem with everything that we tried was, does it work? Can we use it? Yes. Is it as user friendly as TeamViewer? Absolutely not. Because TeamViewer is literally go, all right, what's your ID? What's the password that it just gave you? And it's like a 6-character generated, basically like a pin mixed with letters sometimes. And it's like, what's your ID? What's your password? I'm in. And that's it. That's all that's required.
So what if you don't have somebody on the other end to give you that?
You can't start the connection unless you've already pre-installed the software there.
Okay. So I'd have to make my rounds. Same with LogMeIn.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know of anything that gives you, I mean, that's hackerish to just like
Yeah.
first time connect remotely without any other presence. But once you're there, if you need a perpetual, like I said, you can just install it with a separate password than the auto-generated one. You can set a password that'll give you unattended remote access once you install it.
That's what I do most of the time, because I wait until the manager's gone for the day and I shut their computer down and do it.
Yep.
But one of the things that really gets me on LogMeIn is, even though you've got the Wake on LAN option, it doesn't work on a Mac if the hard drive's asleep. If you've got the, put hard drive to sleep after 15 minutes and you've got Wake on LAN selected, it won't wake it up. You've actually got to set the hard drive to never sleep.
I don't know if we've ever gone into that. I'd have to ask my boss if he's ever dealt with that.
Yeah.
We just by default for most things, at least anything critical, we pretty much set it to just never go to sleep because it's mostly like somebody's server in their infrastructure or something like that. You know, it's not usually somebody's PC.
Yeah, you know, we're just little, so we run our business off of Macs. And I mean, hell, we're using Square point of sale for our registers.
Yeah.
Which, when I started here, it was push button cash registers, so that's like light years ahead of what we were.
With Macs, I don't know how it plays out. We use Avast from a corporate antivirus kind of perspective that we load on clients.
Yeah.
And if they're using the corporate Avast that we have, even if they don't have the paid antivirus, which is the only like paid licensee thing, if they don't have that turned on or enabled, but we have the core kind of client loaded on there, it can give us unattended remote access in a pinch. It's not as great as TeamViewer, but it can get us in the door if we have to. And so on a lot of our customers, that's just a baseline install.
Yeah.
If they're at all involved with us from an antivirus perspective, that's a baseline. We try not to use it because it does feel a little like invasion-y, and it's not, like you said, it's not as good as TeamViewer of an interface. The interface looks more like a LogMeIn or a VNC kind of thing. TeamViewer is just so much better to use, and we try really, really hard not to go into their machine unless they're there.
Yeah.
Unless we can have to.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with that. With the people that work for me, it's like, hey, I want to get on your computer tonight. You know, I shouldn't need access to anything, and then there's times it's easier for me to email a link to them and open their email and get it than for me to go to iCloud and log into iCloud. So I'll say, hey, I want to hop into your email to retrieve this. Are you cool with that? So other than that, you know, I've got 6 teams of people that I work with, and you know, we're in constant communication, so it's not like I'm going to a stranger for something, you know. So it's not too bad. So
sorry about that.
Everything good with your magical plant?
Oh my god, that's never happened.
What flipped over?
So the plant that we have on our coffee table, it just flipped over. Like I was in here and all of a sudden I heard that boom and I was like, that was something loud. So I stuck my head into the bedroom and I was like, you okay? And Jamie was asleep and I was like, oh, so obviously it didn't happen in here. And so I started walking around the house and I get to the living room and the plant that we have in like the middle of the coffee table was laying on the floor.
The dogs?
And nope, they're in the bedroom with Jamie. Closed door.
Forces 3.
Say what?
Yeah.
Forces 3.
Forces 3.
Correspondence 2?
I'm thinking Spirit 2. So I'm sitting there, I'm staring at it, I'm like, how did this even happen? I'm still not entirely sure. My only guess is that the water bowl was just refilled and maybe it was leaning a little bit too far out and the plate tipped over and it just rolled on off the table.
Oh, you've got one of those stick-in drain bottle things?
And that's my only guess. That's the only thing that's going to allow me to sleep tonight. But so yeah, totally sorry about that. But
see, there's another reason not to play Wraith.
Yeah. Oh, good suggestion, Trent. Yeah. If you haven't healed and you need to, please take care.
I don't have any damage on mine, and I know I did the last time I played.
Probably got
you know
healed
what?
from the last.
I lied because I've got healed. I've got life too. I healed myself.
Maybe.
No, that is what happened.
Yeah.
Sasha, how do you have willpower 5?
He's a badass.
What?
Your
willpower
should be your resolve plus your composure.
I gotta walk the dog, guys. She's whining.
Oh, because it was 5.
I'll be right back.
Oh, and
I took your suggestion last game and switched composure and wits,
gotcha.
and didn't realize that willpower was calculated that way. So that was my bad. I just didn't follow it through.
Okay.
It was corrected.
Cool. So the car ride's still happening.
The what?
The car ride's still happening.
Oh, while he wandered off to go take care of the dog.
Yep.
So on healing, to make sure that I didn't screw myself up.
Yep.
It's how many points of stamina? It's probably on the cheat sheet, isn't it? But
Yep, it's at the top right corner of the mundane section of the cheat sheet. So if you have physical bashing, heal your stamina rating at the beginning of the session.
if I had one lethal,
You had one lethal.
I had one X, right? That's lethal. From her bike shocking me.
What? That might. I wonder if I forgot to move the facts or the. Thing.
Or do I need something other than just stamina to heal a lethal?
I feel like I changed that in the rules clarification, and I'm wondering if I forgot to move that over.
Lethal and damage and aggravated physical. Intelligence plus medicine.
so lethal and
difficulty is total.
Well, that's the current rules. The suggested change was lethal and aggravated must have initial treatment once you gain the wound. Roll your initiative, medicine, difficulty, number of the aggravated and lethal damage reduce half, round up. Start of the game, reduce half stamina, round up by 1 level.
Okay, yeah. So if I had one lethal, but I have 2 points of stamina, I could heal that one lethal.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I did. Okay, I just. Yeah.
I will also get that moved over to the cheat sheet.
It's in the cheat sheet.
Do I have that new section?
It's at the start of game. After bashing is healed,
Oh,
reduce aggravated or lethal by half stamina.
Yep.
Or half. Yeah. Yeah.
yay! I was proactive.
I'm totally just gonna keep messing with that bike. That's just something my character is now going to be fixated
You and that bike
on.
are going to be friends by the end of the game.
Oh, we're not gonna be friends, but we're gonna be something.
Crap. What were the rest of you guys planning on doing next? Just meeting up
See,
for the information dump from Zenori?
see.
I guess I'll be handling that.
What did? Yeah, she was looking into creepy boyfriend, and then I was going to, I guess, just wander off with her on her inspection of newsstand person.
Oh man, that would have been really interesting. Okay.
I don't know. My dude could have like odd flashback moments or something if you wanted to just like throw random story things in there, since he's tied kind of closely to Zen right at the moment in his current story.
I can imagine maybe, unless she comes back, maybe like you guys go to check out the stand and the person that she's looking for isn't working there today.
Okay,
So
and we
she's
just
like,
move on.
can we just meet up tomorrow?
Okay, no, that works. What does Trent want to do with a free day?
And the rest of you, what do you guys want to do?
Trent's gonna go pay off his little forger kid from the college that writes out his transcripts.
Okay.
I didn't consider him to be like enough of a character asset to really be like an actual asset, but that's just kind of part of his little storyline. He came across some dude who kind of forges the transcripts so that he doesn't actually have to go to class, but his parents keep sending the money for tuition.
I might want to know something there. Okay.
if you want to develop that, then let me know and we can try and figure out how to put it into an actual like whatchamacallit thing.
Yeah, I'll ask you some questions there.
I think I put him on one of my little sheets somewhere. I think he's on my people map. I don't know if I gave the guy a name yet, but he was on my little people map.
Okay.
Shit, where did I put that? I might have actually given that guy a name.
Warren, it sounded like we weren't about to say something.
Is that going to be the going theme? It's like, Warren looked like he was going to talk. Let's.
Well,
let's
you hear
check
that.
Oh, I didn't realize it made a sound. Gotcha.
It only makes a very small sound. I was exaggerating
Okay.
a little bit.
Okay. I was going to say that Sasha is going to visit his best friends over in the what the hell is the name of that organization? I can't even think of it right now. Technocracy.
Oh, his best friends.
Yeah, that was sarcasm.
Mean Agent Blair?
Yes.
Okay.
He's going to, in the interest of being true to this agreement, he's going to give them the symbol he saw.
Mm-hmm.
Not explain where he got the information, but inquired if they know anything about it, and I'm more than willing to play that out and give them some information of what I've learned.
Okay.
To see if I can get more of that cream, because I only have one application left.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to need it if I'm going to be dealing with these fools.
Gotcha. Cool.
That was a very Prince-ish symbol. Is that something that was just from one of those like mage books or whatever?
It just so happens. If you go look up Vampire the Masquerade and you look up what are they called?
'Cause they have like factions or clans or whatever,
yeah,
right?
Faction
Different.
symbols. Oh well, the clans are the individual groups. Damn it, Shane, stay here.
We're giving all of this wonderful history and backstory. Taking out the dog.
Yeah, real quick, you did fix that in the notes?
Yeah.
So is that not his symbol?
No, the
Is
symbol
that not
that's
the
in the
group
notes
rest-
is the symbol
That he
you
represents?
saw drawn.
Yes, but so in the game...
I said it was an
guy
upside
that I was
down
talking
A.
to- Yep.
Go ahead.
But the guy that it was tied to was... The guy that I was talking to, it was tied to that symbol.
Yeah.
Is he still tied to that symbol or no?
He is not tied to that A. The symbol that you saw him draw that he was tied to is the one that's in the notes.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
The upside down A is a clan that's actually is the Bruja clan for vampires, and I knew I saw it somewhere. I just really thought it was the Anarchs.
Bruja clan?
Yeah, the Bruja clan. And okay, it was the 90s. A bunch of white guys sitting in a room, not really understanding how to tell.
Whatever. I mean, that's cool.
But yeah, it was that clan, and that's not the clan I was going for. And I wasn't actually going for the clan. I was going for the faction of who he's tied to.
Sabat?
Huh?
The Sabat?
No, I was going for the Anarchs.
Oh, okay.
That is
Anarchy. Wait.
that is said out of character. Your characters don't know about the Anarchists, but that symbol you guys have seen, and that's the Anarchs symbol.
Okay.
Wait. The Prince one is the Anarch symbol?
Actually, if you go look up the factions of Vampire the Masquerade, you'll see that they all look very similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just their slight differences is indicating which way they lean. Vic, what were you planning on?
Just going to the meeting.
Okay.
I'm kind of at a loss of how to. I want to put feelers out for the other artifacts.
Okay.
I can't remember. Did you say Xeon had done?
Sonori.
Yeah, Xeon.
Or Zen.
Yeah, that too. Crap. Trying to remember the brain.
She started an algorithm searching for them.
Did she? Okay. Did she? Didn't she do like a search on Susan's computer?
Or her phone, yes.
Not like a computer or laptop or anything like that?
No.
And I do know she works for the Technocracy, correct?
You
Because you said you said I knew who she worked for. I just don't remember who. I believe in the game notes.
oh no. I was more saying that you were suspecting.
Oh, suspected she worked for them.
Yeah, she never actually came out and said it, but
Okay.
if it's that group that like, because you have a lot of information that kind of makes you go, yeah, I think she was that's who she was looking for. Or working with.
I figured. I mean, I can only assume that they're here, messing with her. So.
And I do kind of feel like Zen did say something along the lines of that they were searching for something here too.
I think so. I just can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to put out feelers. Also.
Okay, for the rest
On
of
top-
the.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think I can work with that.
And did I ever get a hold or information of Dee's brother? You get that all set straight?
We'll work with that.
Okay.
I think that's probably a better place for me to try to take your character tonight.
Because that's. Cause I still got to get him where he needs to go and get him set up.
Yep. Okay. So, Shane, you guys are in the car ride. He just told you that he's trying to get back into his character accent. Bleh.
Blah, blah, blah.
The first time I felt it, I was up in the MacLeod district.
On a boat, he said.
Yes. I was on a ferry. I was going from Queen Anne's to MacLeod.
Did you fall off the boat?
Obviously, no.
It's a shame. I almost got hit by a car. I was crossing the street.
And maybe one day you'll be able to complete something.
You haven't changed much. You're still a dick.
So are you, my friend. So are you.
I'm gonna chuckle. How many have felt it?
So far, we've found 7.
Any others I know?
You've met, you met the, shoot, what would they call? I don't remember what the euthanatory word for their Chantry leader is. I'm gonna say warlock now, but I'll replace it later with
Yeah,
the
that's not it.
the actual term.
It's a foreign term. I can't even tell you what language it sounds like right now.
Sounded like you were trying to say chupacabra, but
That might
We can use that.
But he's like, you're aware of the warlock, and I'm not sure if you ever met the oracle. Side note: oracles are very mysterious in this world. They tend to show up only at times of desperate need. Oracles are mages who have reached Ascension or reached close to Ascension, but for some reason, the moment they reach Ascension, they tend to remove themselves from society and only step in to just kind of nudge them in the right way.
when you say Ascension,
They're like Arite, like somewhere between 8 and 10.
oh, okay,
They completely understand enlightenment.
got it.
How do I put this? The guy I'm riding with, what's his name again?
You named him Quentin.
Quentin, thank you. How does Quentin compare with me in Arete and Entropy? Would I have knowledge to that?
You knew he was around before you.
Okay. So he may be slightly higher.
Yeah, slight.
Okay.
But you know that from your history with him, you know his power is in his contacts.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just trying to figure out why he felt it, and if the others, if I could get kind of a idea of their strength, then maybe that's why they felt it and the others didn't. So that's what I was trying to get at. So.
He also points out, and you've at the last Chantry meeting, you met the young apprentice. Oh, what was his name? And you remember this guy that just didn't seem to fit. I mean, like, if you were at a Magic the Gathering game and you saw somebody there and people were calling him a nerd, that's how...
He brought his Pokemon cards to a Magic game.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's kind of how the guy would stand out. But yeah, you remember him, and it was just kind of like... Most people feel this, whether or not you said it, but most people felt like out of all the millions and billions of people on this planet, why were you picked? What about you were picked? And he's like, he just keeps on like, I can't remember his name. I'm just gonna call him Gary.
Okay, Gary.
I'm not sure if you know others.
Okay. Well, that gives me some information. Thank
And
you.
my Indian is now starting to slowly move towards Russian.
I felt it's been there for a while, so I was
It
thinking you're
has.
going for like Pakistani.
Yeah.
That might not be that bad off. I was actually going for India, but I had it down like 2 days ago. Oh, I had it somewhat down 2 days ago. I mean, I'm white, but I started mimicking a guy I work with to his unapproval. But
It's like, no, dude, it's all right. It's all right. It's totally for a game I'm playing. It's totally okay. I'm not making fun of you.
I'm not being a racist dick. It's
no,
okay.
Yesu and I have been friends since with Florida office. We've been friends for quite some time. And I was like, "Can you say that again?" And like he would say it, and I'd sit there and like kind of mouth it. He was like, "What are you doing?" I told him, and he was like, "Nerd."
There's a lot of linguistics videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I've been working on some of those myself, but I haven't done it in like 2 months now, so.
All right, so you guys arrive, and you get to, and if you want to Google this place, the Moores Theater, Moore Theater, the Moore Theater. If you're interested in what this place looks like. Just a little history of this place. It was built back in 1907, and it was literally built on top of a graveyard. This is true story.
Wow, that's a hell of a theater.
Supposedly,
Really weird
some of the graves were removed.
Supposedly.
This was back in 1907. We didn't have that many checks and balances then. So,
We still don't. Just depends on how much money you've got.
True story.
The ride share pulls up. You guys step out, and he flicks open his phone and clicks through.
We took a freaking Uber.
Yeah,
Cheap bastard.
it's Seattle.
Yeah, this is
You
true.
take ride shares in cities. Just about everything you do. It's easier.
I want to call Vic from now on. He's the only guy I know that's got a car.
He'll get you the Uber Black. I wonder if it was named after him. Anyways,
God.
so yeah, you guys go into the theater. There's a side door that you enter into. This is probably where like stagehands and other people that set up, they use this kind of entrance. This is not you're not coming in from the front or through a loading dock. and you walk under the stage, and there's a spiral staircase that even goes deeper, and you take that down and into one of the sub-basements of this place. And do you have Prime? You're muted.
I have Prime 1.
Okay. You can okay. You could feel that this room is mostly made out of magic. It can totally exist in Seattle, because Seattle, for some reason, could go extremely deep. Actually, apparently, part of the city is built on top of another city that collapsed.
Yes.
But, so yeah, it goes deep. But this whole room was definitely built out of magic. And you go in to the first room, where it looks like people are sitting in. They're not really pews, but they're rows of chairs that are like that. And you see the Oracle sitting up front, and you also see the Grand Warlock standing up there.
Okay.
They're having with the rest of the group, they're having a current conversation about it's just political Chantry business. I'm not sure. Does your character get involved with the Chantry other than when you're summoned or necessary? Or
I try to stay away from it as much as possible because, while our interests align, I'm more for, helping my people, not necessarily the euthanatos in general.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, to you, this is kind of boring Chantry business.
Yeah. I'll sit close enough to keep an ear on it, but not close enough to be in the conversation.
Gotcha. After they wrap that up, the Grand Warlock calls for attention, and then he announces, he's like, everyone in this room has been summoned today because you have felt it. You have felt a entropic disturbance that, if unchecked, could plague Seattle. The elders of the Chantry, when hit with it, were sick for over a week. The younger members, not as long. We don't know what is happening with we don't know what's happening right now, but we've called you here so we can find out.
Alright, just to step back a minute and metagame. When Vic and I met up with the rest of the group, that's because of the feeling I was having, and we tracked down to the ghouls, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe. So, entropy sometimes is weird. Sometimes it could tell you one thing, and it's totally leading you to do something else. So, you might have been on the track because you thought that's what you were going for, but it could have totally been lying to you.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we were going around trying to get a feel for the bus, which I originally thought was the disturbance, and then I started feeling something, and that's where we ran into the ghouls and the rest of the party. And Okay. Just wanted to check.
Yep. And since you mentioned that, can you give me a wits insight check? Difficulty 3.
Okay, let me see if I remember how to do this. Wits and insight. Okay, I click on the die on each one, or I click on the star.
You click on the die, and then that will change your modifier below. in the bottom left.
There
And
it is.
then where you
I click on
have
roll.
you want to change that from a 2 to a 3.
Oh, I didn't change it to a 3. So,
What just happened?
wits and insight, 3 and 2 is 5. And there's the 5 die.
Oh,
How did you roll them?
the second one was because he double-clicked.
I didn't see a second one. Oh, I did see a second one. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
My mistake. But I only did it with the difficulty of 2.
That's fine. I can do the math in my head.
Okay.
I think I can add or subtract 1.
One.
Yeah.
All right.
Failure with success with oh, never mind.
So
Succeed at a cost. Is that what you were trying to
you
word out there?
you aren't sure who to trust in this room.
Okay.
One, Quentin's here, and you've never really trusted him. But two, there's a couple members that are not from here. They've traveled to come here, and they just have really bad reputations. But then there's other people that you just don't know.
Right.
And because you're not part of the Chantry, you don't keep up with these kind of politics or know how to feel it. But you're not sure who to trust in this room.
Okay.
But yeah, so he says, below your chairs, you will find the routine for the ritual that we'll be performing today. We will uncover what is causing this corruption in Seattle.
Okay.
And if we're successful in this ritual, we will know what to do next.
I'm gonna pick it up and skim through it.
You notice that under everybody's chair, where they are sitting, even though they're sitting scattered across the room, there
it
just
was
so
wrong.
happens to be the paper there,
Okay.
and nowhere else.
Nice.
You flip through, and this is a greater ritual. Do you think your character has been through a greater ritual before? A greater
No.
ritual is something that involves multiple Chantry members.
No, not at all. I mean, 2 to 3 maybe, and just tribal.
Okay.
I've been through nothing like this.
He says to you, or he says to everybody, you may find your private rooms to prepare for this ritual. We will see you at sundown.
Okay. I'm gonna start going through this, the ritualistic directions, I guess.
Yep.
The instruction manual.
So
Is it like a dummy's guide for rituals?
I hope so.
so let me change this. The first thing. So you stand up, and you head off. You immediately find your room to prepare. And when you close the door, the first thing you see in there, in the middle of the room on a table, is this goblet filled with this blue liquid. Give me a. It doesn't matter what you roll.
I always love it when the DMs say things like that.
I don't have something.
Difficulty 8.
I don't have
And
something
you
good
have
for.
4 die. Go ahead.
I try not to make people roll if I don't have something good or equally as fun when it's good or bad that happens. So if you
Gotcha.
fail, is there something there that actually happens that's fun? But
That makes me feel a little better because I was sure thinking, well, you know, that
Just
just
have
means
him
that
roll for the sheer
it's
hilarity
impossible for
of
me
it.
to succeed.
You see this goblet, though, is blue liquid, and you flip through your notes, and you read about what this liquid does. And this is the liquid of cleansing. You're going to drink it, and you're going to have to remove, or it's going to help you remove everything that's from your body, because any impurities is not going to allow the ritual to perform well.
Great.
Is this like the ancient Indian like before battle cleansing stuff?
No, it's not.
It would
doesn't
make
have
them like
hallucinogens.
projectile vomit.
Oh yeah,
No.
it does totally that.
Yeah.
You're
That,
going
that's
to,
what I mean. Like it's like they used to compete, I think, on
Well,
because you're gonna vomit anyway. Let's see who could vomit farthest or whatever.
I mean, Shane is of the age that he's had a colonoscopy, so therefore, he knows exactly what this blue liquid does.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Except for it comes out both ends, right?
So, give me a stamina roll. Difficulty 5.
Stamina roll.
Yep.
What do you click stamina twice?
Yep.
Difficulty 5?
Yep.
Fuck, man. I've only got 4 points
I
to
would
roll.
be like, yeah, I've got 4 dice to roll against a difficulty 5. This is going
Yeah,
to go
exactly.
great. Oh,
How do you have -4? Oh, okay, you only rolled
you
one
got
success.
1 success.
Okay. Take 2 bashing.
Oh, fuck.
Sonny explodes.
Literally.
And give me a wits investigation roll.
Hold on just a second. I screwed up here. What's investigation?
Difficulty 2.
And this is against what?
Wits investigation. Difficulty 2.
Okay. At least it's not 5.
It's trying to keep yourself together
I've
while
only
you're
got two to
exploding
roll.
everywhere.
Hey, I tied.
There you
There
go.
you go. So into
Super interesting music, by the way, for this like explosive bodily function scene.
And I had it.
Uh,
I had it deafened. Shit.
So, don't worry, this music will continue to play for a little bit. Euthanatoi are Middle Eastern based,
Mhm.
so I went and found Middle Eastern royalty-free music that totally works for this. So,
Is there anything left in the goblet?
nope, you finished it.
Damn it.
You had to.
That
I mean, you filled it back up, but you finished it.
It was part of the ritual. Oh, crap. So into the room walks this person.
Am I still, sitting there with my trousers around my ankles,
Probably.
shitting my brains out when she walks in?
She walks in.
Give you a
remember
bathroom
her.
at least? Or is it just like all over everything?
Oh no, there's a bathroom,
Okay.
but it's all open. It's just the open floor plan. There's no
Great.
walls or anything.
Prison
But you
style.
remember her. Her name is Alicia.
Alicia.
Yep. She was one of the elders of the. I can't say the name. SNOQUAL.
Oh no.
Two people.
It's that Alicia. Yeah, the Sinoqua.
Yep.
Oh god. She's the one that cursed me. This is really bad.
She comes walking in, and she's like, "This is pathetic. why would they even summon someone like you here to do a greater ritual? Are you even magi?
Am I hallucinating? That's what's going through my head.
You are absolutely hallucinating. You succeeded, so therefore you sense that.
Okay. I was like, what the fuck? Go away. Bother me some other time when I'm not sitting here. Because this, even though it's not real, it's uncomfortable as hell.
She vanishes. And
Thank God.
Then you look over your notes and you see that, okay, now I'm stepping into it's the cleaning ritual. Now that you've gone through the gross, removing everything, now you're cleaning yourself up.
I hope there's a bathtub or a shower here.
Yeah. What would be Sani's preferred? Like, how would you prefer?
Shower.
Shower.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you go
Baths
through
are
this,
like humans do.
and then you go through you're preparing for a ritual, and this is very systematic. It's about like cleaning every location of your body, making sure it's all perfectly dry. It would be like if a professional was giving you a shower. I mean, you have to. I'm trying to put you into the idea that this is definitely more of a ritual rather than I'm just taking a shower and getting ready for bed. This is definitely more of a thought of like I'm taking a shower to get ready for my first date ever.
Gotcha.
And so you go through this, and like I said, it's very ritualistic for you. Give me a composure occult roll.
Versus 2.
Yep, let's do. Excellent. Heal one of your bashing.
Thank God.
The next step is meditation. How would Sani meditate?
By chanting.
Okay. Give me a stamina insight roll, difficulty 3.
Damn it.
What do you think Tani is thinking about right now?
What would have happened if she had really walked in while I had my trousers around my ankles, crapping my brains out? It's kind of hard to get out of my head, even though I know it was a hallucination.
So, what do you think of, like, I don't really know, other than she cursed you. That's the only interaction that I've had with you about her. What do you think about her? Is she a person you respect, or like?
I think she's
Tell
a
me-
bitch, and I fear her a little bit. There's a little bit of fear there, and the fact that I had my pants around my ankles and I was in a
Compromising situation.
compromising and I'd say defenestrative position when she walked in. That's very, I don't know, emasculating.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
Okay.
it's very creepy that I thought of her at that point, and I'm wondering why I hallucinated her, especially at that time.
Secret crush.
After your somewhat failed meditation, you just couldn't get into the right chance or get into the right mindset. You now see this is the steps and the steps and the movements that we will be doing for the actual ritual, for the full ritual, and it's basically so you can practice this. As you're doing the steps and movements, it's actually something you recognize. This is like a dance very similar to what your tribe has done before. Either you've seen it or maybe you even participated in it. Actually, would you have danced with your people before, like in a like their ritual?
Absolutely.
Not an actual magical ritual, but like.
Absolutely.
So you kind of actually recognize the energy because you have Prime, so you can feel the how the similar patterns are reaching out to the god of fate. Now the Native Americans they would refer to the god of fate as something else versus what the Euthanatoi tend to refer to them as, or what Middle Easterns tend to refer to them as. But the energy is the same. The slight differences in the movements where Native American movements are more relaxed and more flowing. Middle Eastern movements are more sharp, like where you guys would lift your hands up and sway them back and forth. They would like definitely make sure they have sharp angles and points as part of their dance.
Gotcha.
Give me a dexterity performance difficulty 4. Don't forget, you have willpower. Oh, wait.
Oh, I
Willpower
forgot I
lets
could
you reroll.
substitute that.
Crap. You don't have anything that actually gets you extra dice.
Q? Or does that only apply when you're using spheres?
Yeah,
think that's only when
quintessence
you're
is
using
only for
spheres.
using spheres.
Oh well.
Difficulty 4
There we
is
go.
high, but oh well. Yeah, so take 1 lethal. You stepped wrong.
Shit.
Lethal willpower or lethal health?
Health. Why are you putting it in the
Just
middle?
your ankle?
It was weird. When I tried to clear the middle one, it just kept adding to it. So I cleared the front one and just went back and cleaned it up.
Gotcha.
Here. Now we're good.
All right. Wait, you should have a lethal and a bashing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just took the bashing and made it lethal. Thanks.
There you go. All right.
I'm gonna die performing a ritual.
Sundown happens. And this is during the whole point of the time when the rest of the group were meeting up at Broski's and they were talking about their initial conversations. This is before Sasha met with the vampire. So this is happening all during this point.
Wait, sundown?
Yeah, he bounces at his club at night.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Yep. So this is.
Are we on the day of our meeting at Peroshki's?
Yep. And this is where Sani was during the time that you guys were at Peroshki's.
Yeah, but didn't we have our meeting at like
Noon.
Yep.
And he's been with the Chantry all
Yeah,
day.
no. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I'm still like this particular sundown ritual is still same day.
Yep.
But not somehow corresponding while we were in the restaurant. Just
Right.
same day of. Okay.
Same day. Yep. So, sundown happens, and you're about to meet up for the ritual. You walk out of your room, and you walk, and you get on this spiral staircase that takes you up. You can only see so far out in front of you. When you come up to the room, and you walk to the middle where you see this light, you realize that you don't know how big this room is. It is so dark, and the only illumination that's coming is from the middle. You can't tell how far away the walls are. This room could go on forever.
Well, I mean, I came out of the wall and walked towards the light in the center, right?
You came up from the floor and walked towards the light in the center.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
looking back, you don't even see where those stairs were. In the middle, there is a large disc. It's a mirror. Both sides of it are reflective, and it's sitting there, and that's the only thing that's illuminated in the room. On the ground, there's a big circle drawn around the mirror, and the Grand Warlock tells everybody to take their places. And so you walk up, and you sit down on the floor and around the circle, and this is where you begin your meditations. Give me a resolve insight check.
Shit.
You have insight?
I know, but I'm just so much more used to doing wits. Against 2, 3, 4, 6, what? Okay, thank God. I might have a chance. I shouldn't have said that. Nope, I shouldn't have said that.
Yep. You, as you're walking towards where you're going to sit down, you feel this cold energy, like, fly through you, and you don't have spirit, but you can just sense the spiritual energy that's in this room, of ghosts or specters flying around. Even as cold and as sharp as that felt to you, even people that are very mundane, very non-spirit touched, they should be able to be sensitive to this. This is how strong it is.
Wow.
You take your seat and you begin your meditation. This is where I'm going to ask the rest of you guys for some help. I'm about to ask you guys to do something that's going to be a little bit weird, and it might be, but if we do it, it could be fun. I am going to ask you guys to like say something or do something. You guys will know what you're doing beforehand. I will make that very clear. But if I'm asking you guys to make a chant, for instance, just try to keep your voices low because I am going to speak over you. But don't worry, I'm not going to make you like recite a verse of something as I'm saying other words because that's just impossible. Well, at least it's impossible for me. But are the rest of you guys on board with this?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
James, are you sitting in the middle of a pentagram by any chance right now? Just for curiosity's sake.
James
I
slowly
mean, if I'm
turns the light
not,
off.
the spell
Has
that
like
I'm asking
glow in
you
the
guys
dark
to
paint
do
everywhere.
will not work.
Starts dripping blood
obviously.
from a cat. You know, just.
I was just curious. That's all.
I mean, I might be drinking my blood tonight, but
No, that's what goes into your blood. That's different.
well, yeah, no, this isn't my blood, but I'm drinking the blood.
Is that
It's
code
just a
red?
vampire that I found earlier today. It's fine. It's fine. We're not going to talk about them.
That's what's left over after he scribed the pentagram in his floor. All right, go ahead.
Yep.
That's really what he was doing. It had nothing to do with a plant in the living room.
That's how the plant in the living room
One of my
got
candles
knocked
fell
over.
over. Hang on, I'll be right back.
They know too much. All right. So, you sit down. You begin your meditation, and you can feel this wind picking up, and like you hear this, and it starts off really slow. It makes a sound, and every time you hear the you can just feel this wind blow against you. But you're in meditation. You're in deep thought. This is what you've been practicing for. Give me a wits insight check.
There's some old guy's ghost breathing on you real heavily.
Against 2?
Yeah. You keep getting distracted by this, and it keeps on blowing against you, and it's like making your eyelashes like flitter, and like you can. Does your character have facial hair?
Not as sunny.
Okay. So yeah, you're feeling like your hair blowing in the wind and stuff like that as this thing is going by. And then it reaches a point in the ritual where you hear the Grand Warlock call out, "Aye, aye, aye!" And everybody wakes up. They open their eyes and they stare forward. And this mirror is spinning in the center of the room. You don't see how it's being held up. It just looks like it's floating, and it's spinning, and it's going fast. This is not something anybody would want to step into. That would instantly kill them. And what you see in the middle is your reflection. And you know from your instructions to stare at your reflection and to make eye contact with it. And this mirror is moving so fast that you can see out of your peripheral vision. You can see the people that are in the rest of the room, but the only image you see in the mirror is yourself sitting there. And you imagine everybody else is seeing themselves sitting there in the mirror. At that chant, everybody stands up, and the mirror is moving at a clockwise rotation, and everybody starts moving their bodies to this beginning part of the ritual. It's not quite the dance, to a counterclockwise around the mirror. And every time they move, they say a "hoo," and when they come up, they say a "ha." And with the rest of you guys, "hoo." Ha.
Ha.
Hoo.
Hoo.
Ha.
Ha.
Hoo.
Hoo.
Ha.
Ha.
And keep
Hoo.
going.
Ha.
And as you guys are moving around, giving this chant,
Ha.
hoo. Ha.
Hoo. Ha.
I feel like only one of you guys
We need
doing
a
it.
beat somewhere here to go with.
Hoo. Ha. Hoo.
Hoo.
Ha. It's really hard at the lag. Hoo. And then, so yeah, as you guys are going or moving around, you're hearing the chanting in the background. Do you guys, obviously don't answer this rhetorical question, know the Legend of Broken Mirrors? Legends of mirrors have been around for hundreds of years. Some civilizations believe there's some sort of purifying effect with mirrors. That when you stare at it and you look into it with your own eyes, it transfers the negative energies that live inside of you into the reflection of the mirror. These civilizations are not completely wrong. This could have a very cleansing effect, but also there's a hidden danger. Not to mention, mirrors in other cultures could be used as a gateway, but storing that kind of negative energy in a mirror is like creating a bomb, especially with people like us, people like you, that have power. Could you imagine how much negative energy is stored in, let's say, your bathroom mirror right now? This is why people believe that after breaking a mirror, this gives you 7 years of bad luck. Give me a wits, occult plus prime to control your energy that's being transferred to the mirror. Difficulty 2. You are not good at rolling. Gain a paradox.
Oh shit.
At this point, the hooing and the hawing ends, and everybody begins their dance. The Rite Master starts the verbal of the ritual, and every one of the mages shouts "Inshallah" when you know, which you know translates to "the gods be with us." So when you hear him say a line, everybody will say "Inshallah." So I say "Inshallah,"
Inshallah.
Thank you, Nathan.
Am I
I was bringing down my
chanting
mic.
as well?
Calm down.
I assume I wasn't because I was part of this.
Yeah, you can say it. You absolutely should be saying it along with us.
Okay.
So yes, you all begin the dance, and you hear him shouting out above the roars of the mirror spinning around, and your the stomping of the feet and the moving of the bodies, and you hear like the sharp movements as like everybody like moves their arm and they hit those angles. Like you hear the clap of the robes that you're wearing, and you hear him call out, "To the gods of the sky and sea, we call you.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
That we face situations and decisions.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
We are confused and lost.
Inshallah.
Inshallah,
Inshallah.
can you help us?
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Can you show us the path from darkness?
Inshallah.
Calm our souls.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Let us know peace.
Inshallah.
Inshallah,
Inshallah.
no matter the outcome,
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
we will succeed.
Inshallah.
But with you and all who protect us,
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
may you keep our spirit balanced.
Inshallah.
Inshallah,
Inshallah.
show us your destiny.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Show us the poison in the wheel,
Inshallah.
so we may clean it.
Inshallah.
It may not be easy.
Inshallah.
It may take time,
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
but let us know what we have to do
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
so the wheel may spin freely once again.
Inshallah.
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 And as he's finishing this verbal, you notice that the dancing image of yourself that's in the mirror is getting worried. It's not following your exact movements. It's not. It is performing much different, and like it's starting to look around and look at the others that are in the room and trying to figure out what's happening to it. Give me a dex performance.
2.
3. Sorry, by the way, if you rolled well back when you were practicing, you would have bonus dice that you could have totally spent to help you here.
Yeah, well,
Go ahead and gain a lethal.
damn it. I'm about to die here.
You're feeling you're feeling the spirits, the specters. They're hitting you, and it's sharp and it's painful. But you're continuing to dance just like everybody else, except Gary, or whatever his name was, because he wasn't important enough to ever remember his name. He collapses. He faints. He can't take the pressure anymore. And the spirit is looking around, or not the spirit, I'm sorry, your reflection is looking around. It's looking back at you, and it's scared. You see, it's kind of gone to like this really gray looking color, and like out of its eyes is pouring this like gray liquid, and out of its ears it's pouring this black liquid, and its mouth is foaming at the mouth, and it starts pounding on the glass and begging to let out. It's screaming, but you don't hear any words because it's just a reflection in the mirror. And it's trying to reach out, trying to reach through, trying to reach to you, and the mirror then lights on fire, and it burns, and it starts melting on the sides and in the center, and it starts heating up, and the room starts heating up. You feel it. You're sweating. Everybody is sweating in the room. The heat's intense, and eventually the glass shatters, and it becomes just one big flame in the center of the room, and you all see the same image, and it is a little girl. It is that girl that you remember from your dream. That girl that looked at you, that screamed and woke you up, and everybody sees her.
The one at the school.
Yes, and everybody sees her in the flame, and the ritual has reached its climax, and everybody knows this is it. This is the thing that's causing all of this, corruption. It's affecting your jor, or however you say that word, JHOR, your, and you could just feel the conflict. You feel that. You feel the room. You feel everybody's like excited. They know the target now, but this is a little girl. This is a child, and it was a child who was ignored in class, and you can sense that, but the rest of the room doesn't. They see the target. They see the thing that the euthanatoi always see, the target, the thing that they have to take out to move on to the next step of ascension. And you see the rest of the room start to celebrate and dance.
This is why I don't hang out with the Chantry. Got better chances of survival hanging out with Vic and running from gang members. Holy shit.
Give me a wits insight check.
And you pass out.
2, 3,
Difficulty
8.
I'm trying to keep it easy on you.
Did you say go with the 2?
2, yeah.
Fuck me.
You rolled so many die! Okay.
Fuck me. Pappy, you remember, back when we used to play second ed and shit was really going bad, what we do with the die?
Uh-huh.
I'm about to do that on my computer screen.
Let me know first. I'm going to hurt my eyes.
Alright. So, before I figure out what your backlash is going to be,
Oh, jeez. Oh, and you hit the one on the paradox.
you feel that the ritual was a success, and that this little girl may actually be the target. But you definitely feel that your jor is conflicted.
Right. Okay.
And I will figure out your backlash in a little bit, because I was not expecting a backlash now.
Great. Do I have any idea how to move forward from this point with this little girl? Where to find her?
Yeah,
anything?
We'll come back
We'll
to
work
that.
on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude! That was creepy, James. That's all there is to it.
I thought it was awesome.
I'm in my
It
element.
was very cool.
I think your negative dies added to the level of creepiness there.
I agree. I thought I was gonna die
You're
during
getting
this
hurt.
damn
You're
ritual.
getting hurt. You're getting hurt. You're still getting hurt. You're getting hurt some more.
And
And triggered backlash.
So
yeah, and then there's a backlash.
okay, so if the first thing, the cleansing, that one was only basically protecting you from damage. But when you go through the cleaning ritual, if you succeeded well, you would heal you would heal both of them from the drink. But if you're just a success, which was what you got, you were only able to heal one. Your meditation, if you succeeded, you would gain a quintessence and a willpower. Your practice, you would gain another quintessence, and you would also gain a condition of prepared. So you would have these extra dice that I'll sit there going, okay, you could use these.
No.
No, that didn't happen.
How many successes did I have? 2?
Entropy
those rolls?
worked well against him today.
Oh, yes.
I really think I only had 2 successes
Yeah,
in like
that's
12
what
rolls.
You had 2 where you tied.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you are safe with Vic.
Say
Good
what?
God, yeah.
It's like I could either get shot at or I could perform a simple dance and somehow wind up worse off. Like,
And now Sonny is 56 years old, so yeah.
Dancing hurts.
This was an
Yeah.
all-day thing after blowing
Out
your
of 12 rolls,
guts out.
I
Like,
tied on 3 out of 12 rolls. I never got a clear success on anything.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Quick bathroom break, and then we'll pick up with you guys meeting at the Peruskis tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. See you in a second.
Hola.
Howdy.
Howdy, howdy. I can't remember what I was gonna say. Now I gotta figure out a backlash for him. Or a possible backlash. Welcome back. I had to go get some more Vitek.
I had to get coffee.
So, also getting some more Vitae. Oh, so
I came up to 317, by the way.
seeing that cloud of dice that just went there behind the scenes reminded me that the guy that I work for now, his youngest daughter is getting into D&D with her high school kids, and she's in 2 different groups, and they're both just doing like intro level stuff. One of their groups has a wild mage that's rolling on not a 100 table, but 1,000 table.
Mm.
I didn't know there was such a thing, but apparently there is, and that just sounds ridiculous to me. That they roll 10 d10s, and each one represents... No, not 10. 4 d10s, and each one represents a number, and that's what they reference on their 1,000 possibility table. I don't know.
I
guess you could get a 1 and 4 zeros, right?
If you got 4 zeros, that would be the 1,000.
1,000, yeah.
1 and 3 zeros, I guess. That's what I meant to say.
That's weird.
Yeah, but if you rolled 4, then you could roll a 3
True.
and 3 zeros.
Yeah, true. You could just be straight zeros would be 1,000 instead of... I don't know.
Okay, so before we pick back up, was that cool? Did you guys like it, or was it cheesy? I shouldn't do that again?
Inshallah.
No, I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
That now
I thought it was great storytelling.
We need a side musical track that's a little easier to keep the beat up, but that's...
Okay,
You know,
That would be the only
I
negative.
didn't think about lag. I forgot that there's like there's a slight second lag between us talking.
yeah.
Yes.
So I was
Not to mention you have 4 different internet
trying to keep
connections
the
going
beat.
on.
I was probably coming in dead last out of those internet connections.
Next
Yeah, I was
time,
tapping my foot trying to keep in time, but Nathan and me kept being off, and I was like, I don't understand why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
next
dance.
time we need a dark room.
What?
Dude,
You already
now
took it,
I
Marco.
understand that creepy text message you sent me a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, that was my
That-
dream,
Yeah,
and I
that's
woke
creepy.
up and I was like, "That's awesome."
If I call you at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know why. So just telling you.
But yeah, I
you
woke up
did
from that,
this.
and I was sitting there going, "Oh, that is a ritual." And I just started I pulled up on my
What?
notepad, I pulled my cover up over my head so I didn't wake up Jamie. I'm sitting there trying to get all my thoughts as many as I could before my dream vanished out of my head.
This spinning mirror thing was a dream you had?
Yep. I don't know why.
Yeah, this is the text that he sent me on October 1st. I had some nightmares last night. Your character's in for a really awesome story. Maybe reading the Euthanatoy book before bed is not a great idea.
Yeah, no, I saw that. But you didn't go into details on, like, what the hell just happened.
Yep. I woke up and like most normal people would be like, "What the fuck was that? I went, that's great. Let me type that up.
That's gonna go in my new episode.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there, like, my eyes, like, squint, like, open, because I'm like, oh, please don't forget the dream. Please don't forget the dream.
There was a campaign that I ran one time, and one of the main bad guys had a Vorpal sword, and I really didn't expect him to kill, one of the good NPCs, but, I rolled the 20/20 death, and it went off without a hitch, and I was like, holy shit, that worked. And it looked really cool. I've rolled very good many times in my life, especially when I was the DM and I used my black and white die. I don't think I've ever rolled that bad as consistently, ever. That was horrible.
I'm sitting there going, oh, man.
Computer stacked against you.
I'm telling you.
I'm sitting there going, you need something.
James
I
has
don't
a
want you to go
hidden
through this
modifier
whole
in his
thing
code.
and just get your butt kicked without getting anything.
That was just bad. I was expecting that thing to jump out of the mirror and like drag me to hell. It's like, fuck. And then the other guy fell, and I was like, thank God it wasn't me.
I told my friend at work about this, and he was like, that's kind of like cerebral fucked up, dude.
It is.
And I was like, yeah, good. All right.
That was good. I'm impressed. And a little bit disconcerted, but impressed nonetheless.
By the way, World of Darkness is my element. I feel more at home here than I do at D&D.
That explains so much. Very cool, though.
All right, cool. Because if you guys were like, no, this is cheesy, okay, I wouldn't do it again. But I just wanted to make sure, because I don't.
If we had been sitting around a table together, it would have been even more cool.
Yeah.
It would have been a hell of a lot easier to stay together too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
Real life lag is much more easier to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just means you got bad timing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that was the problem at all.
I mean, what? I just updated my computer to 32 gigs. Where are the rest of you guys? I'm not seeing any lag.
You're also
you know.
running on the server.
Fair. But I'm also streaming. This is really
Still
impressive.
running on the server.
And I bet you I'm lucky to have 150 right now.
150 what?
Meg.
150 bits a second.
No, I'm better than that now. They actually upgraded the service.
Nice.
Checking as we speak.
So the next day,
Holy shit! I lied. 325.
wow, okay.
I'm at
Yeah,
132.
you're starting to get to teenager speeds. Got it.
Nathan's at 132?
I jumped to 153 now, but
I don't feel too bad then. My upload is only 20.
oof, my upload was a little brutal for a second there. I saw a 1 point something.
Oh god. I'm afraid to run a test right now while everything like this is running, but I'm going to do it anyways.
It's back over 11 now, so that makes me feel better.
Hey, I've got one location that I'm downloading right now that averages about 2.5 download. Like
Dude, when I
0.2 upload.
Started working for Bradley Morris, we had 50 people in that office on a single terminal server. We had a 3 meg connection up and down.
Oh my god. Up and
Up
down?
until 2 years ago,
Up and
I
down.
never had
It
more
was-
than 6.
It was 2 T1s bonded.
Whoa.
It was technically 3 T1s bonded, but my predecessor had it blocked on the
shit.
firewall and capped at 3. For whatever unknown reason.
Yeah.
So we were paying almost $800 per T1 and really only using 2 out of the 3.
Shane, what would you download?
325. That's the
Cool.
highest I've ever seen it.
Cool. I'm at 16.96.
Damn. Are you still with AT&T?
Yep.
Ah, that's why I
Yeah,
said
they
it
explain
right
it.
there.
I have AT&T.
You
Shut
have
up.
Yeah,
fiber.
well, we don't have fiber down here. You know,
I
We-
mean, with all this stuff running, yeah, I'm in poor people's speeds. I have 647 download
Yeah.
and 786 up.
James, we're still using the Pony Express to deliver packets of data here.
I know where you live. I can drive to your house in the middle of the night, James.
Somebody needs to cut his cable.
I would
Braggart.
die. All right. So the next day comes and you guys meet at Perufchi's. I guess again for lunch.
Okay, this is all of us, or this is the meeting that went on while I was...
That already
second
happened.
meeting.
So this would be the next day.
Okay.
After your ritual.
That night, after all is done and I go back to the hotel room,
Yeah.
can I use life to heal myself? Because I'm pretty beat up.
You can.
Or do I need to wait till the next morning?
Nope, you can. Keep in mind, life for healing is vulgar.
On myself?
Mhm.
With
Yep.
no one around?
Yep. It's not about people.
Just
It's
because
about-
That's how I got the one paradox I had then.
Not all of your negative rolls.
Yeah, couldn't be that.
so.
And we're gonna deal with backlash later, so maybe I won't heal myself yet.
No, go ahead. This is great. Actually, I'm going to forgo. I'm gonna forgo this backlash
Why?
to let you build it up.
That's just fucked up, man.
Out of all the people that roll, it seems like I have the best opportunities with you.
This is true. All right, so what do I roll here?
No, you don't have to heal. I mean, if you want to heal yourself, please do. I'm not trying to encourage you to have a backlash. But I do want you to keep in mind that it.
But he is excitedly anticipating the horrible healing result of a messy failure on a healing
I
backlash.
really am. I think I might just... The walls in my hotel room might be red afterwards.
So yeah, you need. So you have your life 2.
And irritate?
Healing with magic. Okay, so life 2 you can heal yourself, right?
Yes.
You just heal
Yes.
others with life 3.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Is it life and
difficulty is
irritate?
2 for each. So basically, you're rolling a difficulty 2. Each point over, you get to reduce your damage by 1 lethal.
And it's life irritate, right?
So life irritate difficulty 2.
Come
Please
on,
work.
backlash. Come on, backlash.
You don't have shit.
Oh my god, I'm glad that wasn't on a paradox roll.
So you succeeded, but
It got
you did not
nothing.
get enough to actually start healing yourself.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get in paradox because nothing actually happened.
Gotcha.
But you did gather the energies to get ready to do that, but nothing actually.
Story of my life. I'm gonna go ahead and see Teddy the vet.
You can try again in a little while, but
What about, like, am I bruised all over? I mean, am I bleeding? What exactly are the lethal from?
you are you're bruised really bad.
Sprained ankle.
You look well. Yeah, one is you have a sprained ankle.
Well, yeah.
But the other, like, you look when you go home and you take off your shirt to take a shower and you see yourself in the mirror, which I'm not sure. How do you feel about looking at yourself in the mirror right now?
Not very good. I'm gonna hang a towel over it.
Um,
I'm not comfortable with that at all right now.
before you get to that point, so like, yeah, sir, you hang a towel over it, but you take off your shirt and you look down and you could just see like these like spots on you of like bruises, and they're like a deep purple.
It's like
and you
blood
look down,
pooled
and the
beneath
moment
the
you
skin.
see it and like you touch it, you can actually think back to the immediate moment. Like you have a perfect clear memory, like it's actually happening right now, of that spirit flying through you.
That sucked. I'm not hanging out with the Chantry anymore. I'll go let gang members chase me with a Vic. Got a lot better chance for survival. Damn it. Alright. I guess I'm gonna get cleaned up and take a taxi to Piroshki's.
The next day. Yep.
On third.
Piroshki's on third. Yes.
Yeah, be careful with that.
Piroshki is not the same as Piroshki's on third.
Well, it's Piroshki.
I wound up there apparently.
I looked them up and I was like, because like you mentioned, there's multiple Piroshkis, and so I looked them up and see what it was about, and I saw Piroshki, and then I actually started reading some stuff about like from the chef that works there, and she does have a history of people getting confused and going to the wrong place, and that's one of the reasons why like you'll read in like the Google write-ups of like Piroshki's on third, not Piroshki's anywhere else. Piroshki's on third. It's the original.
Gotcha.
So there apparently is a history of the other Piroshkis. But
Damn.
okay, so you all arrive there. Do you guys arrive on time? Do you guys arrive late?
I'm
10
actually gonna
minutes
be
early.
early.
I just arrived at lunchtime, I guess.
I'll
Okay.
be on time.
I don't think I heard Nathan. Heard everybody.
I'm gonna be slightly early.
Okay.
About like 10-15 minutes early.
Okay. Zen is about 30 minutes late. She texts you guys, I'm on my way. So you guys wait around.
She had a migraine.
She had the DM was really hoping that she would show up by now. But, yeah, so, she shows up and, orders some food, sits down with you guys, and basically starts some chatter to try to
Oh.
catch up.
Be right back, guys. Dog's crying. Hold on. Jeez.
I mean, yeah, go
I
take
thought
care
you
of
said
that.
animals were easier than kids, James.
They totally are. I mean, if a dog's crying, you need to help that. Kid's crying, just let it happen. Alright, so yeah, she starts trying to catch up, just general chat, but then the conversation then goes over to what she found. And she pulls out her cell phone and flips it over so you guys can see, and it's one of those big screen phones, and she starts pulling up different images on there so you guys can follow along. And she talks about the courtroom that she that she deduced, or well, her system deduced to connect all these people and all these deaths. When was this? Last year. This case actually went on for a little while. So where I say last year, that's when the incident happened, but the case really ended about 3 or 4 months ago. But last year there was this kid, and his name was Ethan Brewster, and he was driving under the influence, and he hit this person on the side of the road that was walking. And so he went to, well, he had his initial jury date, but then the family then sued. And the courtroom case is the one where the family was actually suing. And you see in the courtroom, or she pulls up pictures so you can see in the courtroom, and it ticks off all the jurors who actually have recently passed. And she's able to scroll through and show you guys that it was different causes of suffocation that they died from. She spins it around so you can see the judge, who you guys, I mean, there's been a lot of newscasts recently about her. who she also died from some kind of asphyxiation, and she shows Ethan, who died from a drug overdose. It leaves some other members of the jury and the family who was prosecuting that are left. She's like, this is where everybody's connected. The only person that is an outlier is Manel. But Susan, and she points in the jury, she was summoned to court. She's apparently a resident of Seattle.
She was a juror?
She was a juror.
Okay. Any deaths in the prosecuting family?
The only person that's actually there, so there's 2 lawyers and the husband, and she pulls over to the husband, and his name is Gary Davis. And they're still alive, or at least as far as any systems know.
What about the defense attorneys?
Any siblings?
She's like, good question. I just have information about all the people that are in courtroom, and that's connection. I can start checking. And so
Yeah, I'd be curious.
she pulls up, like you see her like flick something on her glasses, and she starts tapping away at the table. She's not actually typing on anything, but you see the rings on her fingers that are basically allowing her to act as a keyboard. And she starts tapping away at something. She's like, I'm looking it up now. There was another question?
Who won the case? Prosecution or defense?
So she flips something back onto the screen, and Ethan was able to get off because they lost evidence.
Okay. So Ethan died of an overdose. What about the 2? What about his lawyers, the defense lawyers?
Ethan's lawyers, they still seem to be alive.
Okay.
What did he OD on?
It doesn't say.
Were there any other collateral damage in any of the other the asphyxiation cases? Like overlapping deaths?
Gotcha.
Like with Susan, there was a range.
So Susan was the outlier there, that there was a range. The other ones, it seemed to be very precise. They're the only ones affected. One of the cases, a husband was suffocated while the wife was sleeping next to him. She's actually she's in holding right now because of his death. The police in that district believe that she has something to do with it.
Was there a particular officer that was blamed for loss of evidence?
Nope. It just
What about the
disappeared.
guy that took? What about the guy that took the swan dive off the 5th floor towards Nathan? Was he
Manel.
that?
Manel was the only outlier, and she pulls him up.
Gotcha. Sorry, forgot his name.
Yep. And there was basically, she pulls up a list of all the recent deaths by asphyxiation, and they're all connected to this courtroom except Manel.
And the old lady.
I'm wondering if possibly Susan had connections with the technocracy, and that's why they couldn't get to her precisely, and had to do an area effect.
Or the person's power is growing and they're not sure how to control it.
No, if they're pinpointing, they probably had access to those locations. If Susan had ties to technocracy, maybe she had some kind of warding that they couldn't get to her, so they just did an area.
Or they had the wrong address. Wasn't it one level up or down?
Yes, but it was centered on her.
Well,
I can only assume Manil was maybe suffocating and jumped out the window.
The old lady that passed away in the hospital was on the jury as well?
The old lady didn't pass away. She was just taken off.
She just went to the hospital.
She
Okay.
she was having shortness of breath issues.
Okay. I thought she died.
Can Zen pull the 911 call from the old lady?
I got a pain in my chest and I cannot breathe.
I'd be curious to see if she can pull the audio for that call.
So yeah, she taps a few buttons, and you see her making another adjustment, and then she reaches over to her phone. She flicks over her screen to a couple different screens, and she hits play, and you hear the 911, what's your emergency, and you hear the lady, I can't breathe, and the responder, ma'am, tell me your address. I know that this is quite difficult. They're trying to calm the lady down, and she mentions that she's at the the harbor steps, floor 4 or 3. Yeah, she was on 3. Floor 3, room, and whatever the room number is. And she's like, emergency services are on their way, ma'am. We'll be there as quick as possible.
What time was that call?
That was midday. I don't remember the time that I said that Susan passed. But it was roughly right around the same time.
Same time as Manel jumped off the balcony?
No,
Manel
was the
jumped
night
off
before.
days before.
Just the night before.
Night before.
So he jumped first, then Susan died the next night?
Next day. It was midday that she died.
So he jumped out the window
The night
and then
before.
she died the
Yep.
night before.
So something else is going on with him. Potentially. Either that or somebody was camping in his spot and wanted his room.
Was there a little girl involved with this in any way, shape, or form? A sibling to,
Who was the one that
One of the
died in the
defendants.
traffic accident originally?
That's a specific question there, sir.
It's quite a specific question.
She
You've been
Sells
hanging
her
around
glasses
too
again.
much.
She starts tapping, and like she pulls up like family, and she starts flipping and she's like, how young? What do you mean by little girl?
No, what was she, 8? 7?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I ever tied an age to her.
I don't think you did, but I know it was grade school because
Yeah, it was
there was
grade
something
school.
on the playground and then inside an elementary school. So maybe I
Say-
pictured Ethan's age, so I don't know.
I was picturing around third grade-ish.
Yeah. Okay. So she pulls up and she's like, she flips through like 4 or 5 young girls below the age of 10, and she flips through these photos, but none of them look familiar. She's like,
That's
"Why?"
all family members for the... Wait.
Family
different-
members of people of the jury.
Oh, no, okay. The girl that actually got run over by Ethan?
And so
It was
she
a girl,
pulls-
right?
Yep. Her
Didn't you
name
say it was a
Wendy
girl?
Davis, and she pulls up her information.
How old was she?
She was in her 30s.
Oh, okay. Any siblings? I don't know if you answered that or not.
Any children in the age of
Uh,
8 years old?
She had a
Pedophile?
sister. Doesn't live local.
Are there
So
any-
she was the only... Well, you said sister. And that was just the two of them, and then the mom and the dad.
What? There was no mom and dad.
Who was suing?
The husband.
Husband.
Yep, Gary Davis.
Okay. Do they have any kids? Like,
They do not.
Is there any surveillance footage from the hotel around that night of the jump and then after?
I need to pull up her character sheet for this one.
Any strange comings and goings that aren't normal people per se in the last few days? Too bad we don't have a time master.
She's like, okay, this is going to take a little bit. Hold on. And so she starts tapping away, clicking a few things. She's like, I'll get back to you in that one.
I want to go back to that hotel. Apartment complex, whatever it was.
Where Terminator was?
Mm-hmm.
She kind of pauses and she's like, I mean, is that who you're looking for?
No. I'm looking for anyone out of the ordinary from the last few days.
And so she starts scanning again. And she's like, Seattle's a really busy place.
Yeah, but a specific apartment complex, or just I want to know, like, on that floor and floor above and below Susan's, just the coming and goings in the hallways.
She's like,
Looking for residents and people that might be visiting, but someone that stands out.
their technology isn't really that sophisticated. She's like, I'm seeing people, a couple of them who I can tie to residents. I'm seeing a couple people who could possibly be visitors and not, but I mean, it's just working with too much of a pool here.
Is there anyone that in the last few days visited all 3 floors in those general rooms?
That's something she can tie down to.
Is there any? Do we have any working theory on why the technocracy was there at all?
I believe she was working for them to find and catalog an artifact.
Gotcha.
Because technocracy doesn't like mystical items. They like to keep those on a lock and key to protect the consortium, the consensus.
So she's like, there are 2 people that fit that bill. Security and pizza delivery. They've been all 3 floors.
And the pizza is the same guy?
Yes.
Can you run a background check on him?
Sure.
Pizza delivery went to all 3 rooms?
All 3 floors. He didn't say rooms. Did you mean those rooms?
I did say those rooms.
I'm sorry, I heard all 3 floors. He did
the
not go to all 3 of those rooms.
And those particular rooms.
No, he went to those floors.
Did he linger anywhere?
No. He seemed to be doing his job.
Damn.
She pulls up. And she's like, he got a D on his last calculus test. But he doesn't seem important.
James, what was the name?
Where does he go to school?
Seattle U. What were you about to say?
What does the husband do for work, living?
I don't know. I have a lot of information on this case, and I don't think I recorded anything about that. He's a car salesman.
Oh, he did it.
What were you about to ask, Sonny?
The elementary school was renamed, but I think it was originally White Bridge or something along those lines, and it's renamed to something else.
Wasn't it renamed Highland?
Highland. That's what it was renamed to.
It used to be Highland, and then
Okay.
it was renamed.
And why was I attracted to that place? I was pulled there by entropy, right? And that's where I saw the vision little girl.
So the entropy used that information that was in your head to pull you to other mages.
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay.
I don't want you to accidentally go down
Rabbit hole.
a red herring that actually didn't mean to come up at all.
Okay. Gotcha. Thanks. I'm just trying to see if this little girl connects with any of this stuff.
I'm going to let them know that I want to go back to the compound, the building. They don't have to come along, but I think that's what I'm going to do this afternoon.
Hey James, when you're watching this video, add the school to the Realmworks.
I am going to, when Trent does his thing, I'm going to step out to the local police station, see if I can have a composite drawing of this girl done.
That won't be creepy at all.
I was going to say, under what pretense does a 50-year-old dude roll into a police station? It's like, hey, can you just draw this little girl for me? I mean, nothing's wrong or anything, but can you just draw this for me?
Well, maybe not the police station. Maybe I'll get a street artist to do it.
I just
Okay.
want to see what she's doing.
Okay.
I'll tell him I'm a psychic.
Just
I'll tell him
I think I want to accompany Trent to the
I'm...
apartment. 'cause I
Jesus
haven't been there.
Christ.
hey, just
You
one
guys
line.
suck.
Dude, you played the character, not us.
Yes, that was creepy.
Challenge her to a competition with Town RPM. It'd be fun.
Okay, so you can keep our clothes on the longest.
Okay, maybe a street artist, and not a cop, and I'll say it's my granddaughter. I don't know.
With no pictures, you're just gonna just freewheel it. Just
That is fucked up, guys.
verbal description.
It's okay.
Came out of your mouth, man. Not a.
He's got a flip phone. He can't receive pictures.
50-year-olds, they're fun.
I'm almost there. Y'all
I was about
stop.
to say that.
Kiss my ass, Baffy. You went bald before I did.
That's okay.
Any other questions?
Oh, I have a question just for Zenori that I'll ask as we're kind of splitting up and leaving about the guy that I stole the wallet, and she kind of took a snapshot of the guy's info and was going to look him up.
Oh, she's like, oh yeah. I'm sorry, I meant to send that over to you. Like, as she's talking to you, you get a text from her of his information.
So fucking creepy.
Mike Jim Bob? That guy?
Jim Bob?
No,
Mike Jim
no,
Bob?
no, not Thomas.
No, not Thomas.
Yeah, no.
Different guy that I stole the wallet from.
Yeah, no, the guy.
He's got a habit of stealing wallets.
A little bit.
I guess so.
I don't keep them most of the time.
Did I give him a name? I don't remember if I did.
I don't remember either. I didn't get that far down in the synopsis.
I am so sorry.
Oh, it was great. I was having fun reading it, but then Danielle was like, "It's late. Why are you still shining that bright phone?" I was like, "But I'm reading." And she's like, "Turn that off. It's bedtime."
That's fair. Hold on.
You need like a dice table of names.
I have one. I'm trying to pull it up right now.
Okay. Of course you do.
No, I want a male first name. Why'd you give me female? Oh, because I didn't. Click the right button.
That's funny. So Trent's a klepto.
A little bit. But not really. Like, he doesn't really keep things. He just like screwing with people or like.
That's what it is. The klepto's to steal without the need for profit. Her personal gain.
I
Just-
most of the time I either give it back or give it to somebody else. I use it as a tool for information more than actual like compulsively just taking things.
He strikes me as more of a trickster, like a Loki.
Oh,
like
definitely a trickster. Absolutely a trickster.
His name is Lawrence Harrelson, but he goes by Larry.
Oh.
He actually works. So you didn't make it far enough down in the. I'm assuming you didn't make it far enough down in the notes. I moved the school because everything was starting to pile up into downtown, and I really wanted to spread out a little bit. So I moved the school to the University of Washington. So it's up in the University District because that makes sense. But he actually works in the guidance counseling office at the University of Washington.
And that's where Valentine, what the hell was her? Violet.
Yep. She goes to school there.
Okay. Did you find anything else about him? Does he have any sort of record?
He doesn't have any kind of like criminal record or anything, but like,
Okay.
I mean, there's just some information about him. Like,
So no, like
you're scrolling
restraining
through and like
orders,
you're seeing
things,
like you see
or-
a home address that he owns his home. It's like she pulled an actual background check, like if she worked for a bank or something. You
Sorry.
can see his income.
Okay.
It's pretty low. He works for a school.
I was gonna say he owns his own home, but he's working for a college. Okay.
I can see working for a college and owning your home, but not like a high school.
It's dual income. Maybe they're dinks. We get so much further being a dink.
all my finance professors made more than six figures in college.
He's not a professor. He's a guidance counselor at a college.
Maybe he was a professor. And he,
This is like slightly above like an RA. Like
He's
this
selling
is not,
drugs.
maybe.
Hey,
okay.
Jim,
Let's file that info away, and if there's not anything else here, I'm going to head on back to the building.
Vic?
the police that lost the evidence, is that the same police that Evie works for? Or Eve works for? Different district?
So when the evidence was lost actually in court.
You mean lost
so
in
the
court?
evidence is given over to a judicial system.
Uh-huh.
So at that time, the evidence is supposed to be placed in judicial custody,
Uh-huh.
and it was lost during that time.
So the courthouse is in charge of that?
Yep. And if anybody that's watching this knows better than me, I don't actually know how that fully works. That's how I assume it works.
They have not been arrested yet.
My limited understanding of how America works.
Okay.
But I believe that's right, based on enough shows that I've watched.
Because, no, they're all right.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine so far has seemed to be the most realistic.
Okay. Did anyone... Shit. Can
I
Zenori
did
look
last
up...
night.
Can Zenori look up any financial records for any of the people working at the courthouse for significant increases?
Sure.
Like a payoff of some sort?
She pulls up information. She's like, well, immediately what flags is the judge. She was pretty corrupt. And I mean, a lot of people suspected that, especially based off the news, about how a lot of her cases seem to, a lot of rich people's cases seem to have
So-
mysterious, weird things happen.
So is Ethan rich?
No.
Is there any
is
connect?
Ethan? I'm sorry, Ethan. Yes,
Okay.
or at least his family is.
And I'm hitting a dead end here. And you said the judge is dead, correct?
Oh yeah.
Did you get my message, James?
I'm sorry, I don't have Instagrams back up. What? No.
Now
You're not going to let me?
No.
is
I don't see why that matters right now.
now did all the jurors die or just a few?
I'm sorry?
The jurors,
No, not all of them are dead.
just a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a way to find out the? I know it's confidential, but the voting on guilty or not guilty?
Unfortunately, that's not actually recorded. They kind of verbally talk about that in a room, and that room is not. That room is not really like there's no recording that happens in there, or they don't actually write down on a real piece of paper. Sometimes they'll pass a hat around, but then everything is destroyed.
Who was the speaker for the group? Are they dead?
The speaker is dead.
Did they die first?
No.
Son of a bitch.
I mean, technically, Ethan died first from a drug overdose. But
that was after the trial was concluded.
yeah, and now keep in mind that all this started happening about 3-4 months ago. The actual event of the accident was about a year, but because of how slow judicial systems are
Right.
here in America.
But he was cleared before he died, right?
Oh yeah, no, that was done and over with.
So
he died actually just a couple weeks ago.
everyone connected with freeing him per se seems to end up dead. I can only speculate on jurors,
That's a fair assumption.
and because jury can only do what evidence shows. Can I get a list of the currently living jury?
Yes, she easily gives that right over to you. She texts it over to you.
Cool.
Hold on, let me respond to this real quick.
No problem.
I'm already tired. Are you trying to induce sleep? This music background? I'm like, oh
Sorry.
man, this is soothing. I'm gonna drift.
It's supposed to be dark.
Hello?
I mean, it says something about me that I found it soothing.
It was pretty soothing.
I just lost all sound.
You still lost sound?
Is he still there?
He's dead.
You just dropped out of Hangouts.
Okay. Yeah, so she texts that over to you so you can go through with it.
And can she give me a write up on the Davis girl?
Wendy Davis?
Yeah.
Yeah, she gives you some information about her. She was recently married. So a year ago, they were only married for about 3 months.
Hmm.
She married a Gary Davis. She worked at she worked in Seattle at one of the libraries. Um,
Do I know which library?
yeah, the information is on there. It's
Okay.
the Douglas Truth Branch.
Um, Out of character, the library that's also a hub. It's not that location, is it?
No, what do you
Okay.
mean? What do you mean hub?
For the firm. Remember
Uh,
the physical location?
Gotcha. No, it's not that same library.
Okay. Um, Not sure how well she can
Was
do
that a
it.
library? I thought that was a bookstore.
Same thing. Bookstore, library, they all have
Not.
books. You rent them, you return them. Same thing.
Nothing's the same at all.
There's a subtle difference there, Pappy.
I mean, sure. I bought this book. I'm gonna return it for a different book. I guess is somewhat similar to the library.
Right? You go, you get a book, come read it, bring it back.
I'm not really supposed to do that with bookstores, but okay.
I know I'm stretching. Really am. Is there any way she can... Nah, I gotta think about it more. I'll think about it and get back to you on that.
Well, that just got read by everybody. Please ignore.
I didn't hear the thing.
If I clear, does it clear for
I didn't see it
everybody?
either.
Yes, it clears everybody.
Cool.
Could be.
Now that I know how that works,
Ha. How do I do that? Got it. Okay. How do you type special type? Do the @ symbol or no?
what are you trying to
Type to you, I guess.
do? How do you type to me?
Me?
Yeah. Did you say
/whisper GM.
/WGM?
Yeah.
Was that a yes?
I do /whisper GM.
Okay.
How'd that show up?
I see it.
Does everyone else see it?
Negative.
Okay. That's just a test.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll text you what I'm thinking later on when I think about it.
Okay.
Shit. Sasha, are you in good standings with the technocracy?
I mean, they don't really like me, and I don't really like them, but we are able to work together when we need to.
Okay.
Why?
I want to kind of try to confirm that Susan was working for them or had connections with them, but I don't want them to ask why you're asking.
So I am currently feeding them information
Okay.
about a subject in the city to do with the nightclub,
Okay.
and for compensation, not monetary. So I may be able to work it in if you can give me something that could cross these two storylines.
Okay. I'll think about that because I don't have anything right now.
Okay. Let me know.
Will do. Okay. I'm at a loss until further information.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Where do we want to go from here?
Is Zen able to? Does she have enough bots that she could leave them, like 1 or 2 or something like that, as like tracers to keep track of those that are tied to the case that are still alive?
Cool.
The Wonder doesn't fully work that way. So, here...
Sasha wouldn't know that, so I'm just.
Yeah. So, I mean, she would probably say it's really difficult to do something like that.
Okay.
For me to be able to fully take care of that, I would have to trap myself in a room and concentrate on them at all times.
But we don't want that. But maybe, is there any way that through that fancy whatever you have on your face and you're using with your hands that you can digitally keep track of them? I.e., if something ceased, like their normal pattern stopped, that we get like a flag or something, and we could go check that out instead of having to wait for a news report and possibly missing information.
As long as there's a digital trail, yes.
Okay.
So I can, if there's any cop or something called, or their address or even address nearby shows up in a bolo.
Okay.
We can, I can be alerted to those things. I've already added them to an alert.
Awesome.
I'll go ahead and link up the rest of your guys' phones, so it'll pop up with an alert if there's anything.
I don't know if mine does that.
It gets text.
Oh, okay.
I can transfer the information down to a text document and have that
Sent to you in multiple.
I'm really surprised he doesn't have like a jitterbug, the old people phone with the really big text.
I don't need one of those. I've had this phone for 22 years.
That sounds so real.
With 0 battery life.
I've actually had somebody tell me that. That's why I... Oh, okay. I'm going to ask Zen if I gave her a drawing of someone, if she could use her facial recognition software to find them.
I could try.
Oh. Okay. I was going to... When she said no, I was going to say, see, that's why I don't learn computers. They're useless. But I wasn't expecting that answer. Okay, that's my next step, is I'm going to try to have a drawing done of this girl and have Zen start searching. And I may reach out to Quentin. Even though I don't like him, but maybe the Chantry has some leads on who this little girl is. So I can't help but feel she's got to tie into this somehow.
Okay. So, okay. Trent, I don't remember what we talked about earlier. Who were you going to go see?
I'm going to go back to the building where Manel and apparently this other lady.
Harbor Steps.
When we were talking back during the break at the very beginning.
Well, I went with Zen. We checked out the whatchamacallit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was going to go see, during that day before today, I was going to go see Sean MacArthur, my little, transcript 4G kind of dude, whatever.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and say that you were able to see him today. Like, he wasn't available yesterday, he had class or something.
Okay.
What school do you go to? Did you pick?
I did pick, I don't know. Seattle University.
So you did go with Seattle University?
I think so, yeah.
and basically what he does is he just handles your transcripts for you,
Yeah.
or like he handles like this
He
is how you did
works.
in class.
He works kind of in that department, and so I put him down as like kind of. I mean, he's not forging perfect like passports or anything, but like he screws with some little time stuff like fake IDs for some of the younger kids, and I kind of got his info and got to talking with him, and we worked out sort of like a low deal basically, where he kind of works in the school faculty and just takes their letterhead and writes up just like a rough basic transcript and shoots it off to my parents on the East Coast so that I don't actually have to go to school.
Gotcha. All right, give me a charisma persuasion roll.
Why can I not find persuasion?
It's in the middle.
It's just a straight roll 2.
You have charisma persuasion.
I know. I mean, 2 is the difficulty.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
to difficulty. All right. So yeah, he shows up. You guys go through your normal greet. How is this bartered? Are you bartering him with money or with?
Yeah, it's just cash.
Okay.
It's nothing ridiculous. A few $100, something like that, once every semester.
Gotcha. So yeah, he takes the money and he mentions to you about he was like, yeah, have you been keeping up with the missing student?
Missing student?
Yeah. If your parents reach out to you, you might want to have that in. You might want to catch up on that information.
Yeah, I don't live on campus anymore, right?
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. Everybody's talking about it at school.
Who's the missing student?
Her name was on here somewhere. There we go. Her name was Ella. Or is Ella, I guess? Might not be dead.
I mean, she could be alive. It could totally happen.
The way this game has been going, she's probably dead. But Ella Hart. Yeah. So it seems like last week, she just vanished. Her roommate has no idea what happened. Like, all of her stuff is still in her room.
Does anybody have any idea where she was last seen?
In her room. She was here at the school in her room. Like, her roommate was talking about like how they hung out that night. She went to bed, and when she woke up the next morning to go, and she went to go ask her for something, she was gone. And she was like, the door was locked, and there's like 2 locks. There's an internal lock where you can't unlock it from the outside for school safety reasons. And she was like, both of those locks were still locked.
No windows or anything?
The school in Seattle U, going out a window is quite dangerous because you go through a big fall. But the windows don't open up enough.
Okay.
And if anybody's watching this from Seattle U and you have windows that do open up enough, sorry. This world you don't.
This is my world. Deal with it.
This is my fucking world.
What dorm? Just-
names a dorm.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, no, it's pretty much the talk of the school. She just disappeared out of the room.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good day.
Yeah. And so yeah, he starts typing up your stuff, and he's like, it'll get sent off like normal.
Cool. Thanks. I am going to. Was Sasha coming with me to the townhome apartment building?
So if it's do what we talked about earlier or go to the apartment, I'm going to do what I talked about earlier. If it's both, then yes.
What?
That might take you some time to get down to Seattle U, handle that stuff. So during some of this downtime,
Sasha's. All right. So, how about we just consider it that we like text at some point to meet up at the building?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Cool.
Instead of going straight there, I'm going to go back to my place for a minute.
okay. So Sasha, they agree to meet with you, and they give you an address for a Italian restaurant in downtown to meet them at.
Okay. I guess I'll have Italian today.
When you show up, Agent Blair is sitting there.
Is it just Blair?
Yep, just Blair.
Okay.
Give me a wits insight check. Actually, just give me a contest wits insight. So, when you go in, you do see they are just sitting there, and you notice around the room, you could spot at least one other person that seems to be like security. They notice you
Okay.
come in, and he kind of glances up at you, and he just goes back down, and he's pretending to work on a puzzle, but he's not doing a very good job of keeping himself concealed.
Especially if he looked up at me. All right. I'll go sit down.
And Agent Blair slides across the table. It's a smaller canister. They were like, I was only able to whip up 2 more applications.
It'll do for now. So I take I don't know, how fancy of an Italian place is this? Downtown, I'm guessing not very.
I mean, it's nice. It would.
Do they
I
have
mean,
paper
it
napkins, or
passes-
do they have
Yeah,
cloth
they-
napkins?
It has cloth napkins.
Okay. I look for something that I can draw on around me.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
So it does have
it's
the
like a
cloth
pet.
napkins. Actually, Rosario's where I eat. They have the cloth napkins, but they also have a thing of napkins on the table.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
that could be a thing that's here too.
Okay.
Do
I
you
grab
draw
a
on the
cloth
cloth
napkin.
napkins?
I need to grab a paper napkin. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I draw the symbol for the faction that I know that I saw in my dream.
And she looks at it and she goes, and she spins it around. She was like, it, she's like, oh, that's, they call themselves the Anarchs. What is this? Where'd you get this?
It's one of the 2 factions. that are currently causing a little bit of angst in that circle, that group.
Yes. Okay.
So a lot of our, well, I wouldn't say a lot. That's overstating my knowledge. But some of the strife coming from these two groups is because of this group. Members of this group creating drama in the city.
And how'd you find this out?
Well, it's a little bit easier when they come to visit if I'm not, my mind's not easily wiped.
Hmm.
So again, kind of hold up the canister. Thank you.
You're welcome. I was kind of hoping to learn a little bit more about the person that is wiping your mind.
What is it you're looking for? We didn't really discuss the information you were seeking, only that you were seeking information.
Out of play. She was looking for a name, or
Oh, okay,
who
okay.
specifically this was.
Gotcha. As to a name, he's very reluctant to share that kind of information.
So it's a he. Can you describe him?
I'll give a rough description.
She thinks about it for a little while. She's like, do you know who the faction is that they're going against?
I could potentially identify it based on key traits of different factions within them, if you're able to share that information with me.
I was just curious how much research you have done. She slides the napkin back over to you. She was like, I already knew that it was the Anarchs that are causing. The other faction goes by the name of Camarilla. I knew that they were causing them strife, but I needed to know specifically who this person was.
Gotcha. Well, then that's the information I'll seek.
I also need to find where they sleep during the day. If I'm going to rid them, I'm not going to go head to head with them at night when they're the strongest.
I feel like that's going to be hard to come by, but I will see what I can learn.
If only there was a way that you can have a connection to him, or maybe his coterie.
Well, I'm not dead yet, so anything's possible. And I feel like that's at his whim.
Maybe.
Thank you. And I take the 2 applications and I leave.
Okay. I really didn't think I was going to draw a blank for multiple characters, but Vic, what was it that we discussed that you were going to do?
Help his brother.
Yes. Okay. Ooh, yeah, we definitely don't have enough time to run that part tonight.
No problem.
Not that I really want to do it justice. So,
He had started talking to the, was it uncle or grandpa?
Yep.
Didn't you?
The uncle. Yep, and I can at least cover some of this. So the uncle does get back in touch with you, and works out information on that. He'll be here. He'll be here this weekend. This coming up weekend. Going to the calendar, it is. I'm sorry, it is on Saturday. So he will be here Monday. And yeah, he'd be happy to pick him up. He's actually been kind of worried about them for the longest time, and he was sad to hear about D. So give me a intelligence investigation, and do you have any kind of merits or anything to try to help you find people?
Not yet. But I have resources of 4.
I will throw money at this until it works.
Hey, a lot of things happen with money. Kills almost the whole jury.
Go ahead and take a bonus dice for Streetwise, since you have 2 Streetwise.
Against 2? Or is it contested?
Against 2. So yeah, you start, like you hit up a couple, I wouldn't say contacts, contacts with the lowercase c, not contacts in the form of merit. And you start talking to just a few people, showing some pictures. D was able to lead you to get a picture of Dyron. And you were at, so he told you a few places to go, and one of the places that he tends to hang out is a park. And so while you're there, D also shows up, and he's like, "Any luck?"
Is there people around?
I mean, there's people, but not anybody in earshot.
I will pick up my phone. Nope, no luck. Haven't found them yet.
He's like, "Damn it! I was really hoping this would be one of the places." He's like, "Wait, how am I here?"
Who were you thinking about?
My brother.
Were you thinking about me at all?
Not like that, sicko.
Think of another place that you or brother may be. Concentrate hard on it. Is he still standing there?
Yep, he like went paused and he's thinking about it, and he says out loud, he's like, "Man, the only thing I can really think about right now with my brother is, like, we had a childhood friend. Like, back when we were all kids, there was a kid down the street that he always would hang out with. And, man, we haven't seen him in forever. But, yeah. I'm thinking about him. Now what?"
I don't know. I'm not sure if you're tied to me, tied to your brother, or just thoughts in general. Again, I'm at a loss with the whole spirit aspect. Hell, you just might be my subconscious eating at me.
You could lose a few pounds. Is that what your subconscious would say?
I have no idea anymore. My brain is going a million miles a second.
Somebody walks by and sees the picture that you're holding, He's like, hey, I saw that kid.
You did. Where at?
And like when you said where at, like D said it at the exact same time. Obviously, only you heard that. He was like, yeah, no, I saw him asking for change over near Westbridge.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thanks, man.
He escaped one of the homes.
Nah, he's a friend of. He's the son of a. He's the brother of a friend.
As like you're answering, you kind of realize the racist undertone there of him looking at you like you're a what are those like the halfway houses?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
That's fine.
It's like a bounty hunter for runaway like kids, basically, is what
No. Like
they're
when
treating him as.
no. What he's looking at him like you know, like when you leave prison or yeah, when you leave prison.
Parole officer.
Yeah, you're not really a parole officer. I guess there's like these halfway homes where you're not actually like a legal authority, but you report to a legal authority.
Mm-hmm.
Counselors.
Caseworker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But with that, I'll head that direction.
Okay. Yeah. So as you're driving away, like, Dee's sitting in the car with you.
Damn. In my head, I'm just thinking he's tied to me.
He reaches over, like, subconsciously tries to turn on your radio. He reaches right through it. He's like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Sorry, my car doesn't work for you.
Well, apparently it doesn't work for you either. You drive in silence. It's bullshit.
Lost in thought.
You get down to Westbridge, and when you're walking up, you notice somebody right away. Zenori is talking to somebody there.
Do I recognize the person she's talking to?
No, I don't think you've had an interaction before with this person. He's in a wheelchair.
I will text her as not to startle her or the person she's with,
Okay.
and just ask her, "Have you seen this person?" And I'll send a picture
And,
lately.
she receives it. She looks, like you see her like talking to him, and she kind of like glances like just off into space for a second, and she finished like says something to him, and you receive a text. It's cool. You can come over.
Okay, I'll park and walk over to her.
And, she walks up and she's like, "Yeah, I've seen him actually a couple times here in the park."
I'm looking for him, trying to help him out.
Okay. She's like, usually he's over, and she points over towards some tents that are set up. And she's like, I mean, he's only shown up maybe a couple days ago, but I've seen him over there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him hooked back up with his uncle. He may be in some trouble. I'm trying to get him back on the right path.
Okay. Do you need help?
I look at D. I think we got this.
Okay.
And I'll start heading that direction.
You kind of notice that she didn't really react to that at all. give me another intelligence investigation check? And you can have a +1 for Zen's help. Okay.
Why does nobody else roll negative numbers?
Because we don't have empathy. Or entropy, sorry, entropy.
So,
Or empathy.
Everything wastes away.
so yeah, you go over and tap on a couple tents. And some people come out to find out what's up. And like,
I will quickly look over to D and be like, hey, does he have a nickname?
Dyron or Die.
Okay. I'll use Die. Not, it's like the white guy kill you, Die, but like Die is a nickname.
You probably still have his picture also.
Yeah.
And both of them are like, nah, I haven't ever seen this kid. And you can tell one of them is completely lying. He's trying to hold out for some kind of collateral.
I will try to reason with his humanity and basically explain to him, I'm trying to help him out. I know he's going on hard times, trying to get him back up with his uncle. But I know it's hard on the street, so I'll give him a 50.
He tells you whatever you want to know. He's like, yeah, man. He's actually. I was worried you were a cop or something, man. But he's been camping out over here at this tent. I think his actual stuff is still inside. And he goes around and kind of peeks in. He's like, and when he peeks in, he's like, holy shit, and he jumps back. What do you do?
Peek in myself.
It's a mess. It looks like there was a struggle, and you can tell somebody was like, it looks like somebody was like grabbed and dragged out of there just by how all the stuff kind of is slid. You can see a couple little blood trails. Not a lot of blood, like somebody is dead, but definitely some trails.
I'll look at D and be like, who you say is after him again?
He's like, my stepbrother, but to be honest, if he found him, he would have just shot him. I mean, it could have been one of his thugs.
Do you know where they hang?
Yeah, I know.
Let's head that way.
You sure you want to do this alone?
Who else am I going to call?
Ghostbusters?
Coming from a spirit? Perfect.
Just push the buttons.
I mean, look, this guy is not somebody to take lightly. I know that you think or you seem powerful. I saw what you did to my place, but shit, dude.
This guy rolls deep.
To be completely honest, I mean, I'm not really concerned about your life, but I really am concerned about my brother's life. You die, he's not going to make it.
Yeah, can you give me his name and information?
Yeah,
Yeah.
how about I write it down for you?
Okay, now you're just trying my patience.
This ghost is a dick.
I love this ghost.
Just
Yeah, I do too.
information I could pass it along. Might have a contact with the police. See if they've got any pending investigations. Maybe get some of them out here to help.
Black Ops and not to go into Deuce's 8 territory, but yeah, I'll get you what you need to know.
Cool. And I'll call Officer Eve.
You know, if somebody shot me in the head, I'd probably be an asshole too.
Just a smidge.
He was being controlled.
I'm glad I didn't have to say it this time.
I was being controlled. I mean, it
Just
hap-
razzing you, man.
It just happens. It's life.
People die. Guns go off.
Exactly.
Buildings explode. I mean,
It happens every day, all over the world.
What are you
Must
trying
be
to?
New York, but hey,
What are you trying to get from Officer Evie?
information about about like known hangouts and known associates and any investigations that are pending that he can't get information on. Just, I don't want to go in blind.
Okay.
Even if you have to stop here and pick up next game.
Yeah, I think that might be the best course of action.
That way I can think and we can work things out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all getting tired enough that I don't know about you guys, but I'm having a hard time putting 2 and 2 together right now.
That's fair.
I've got a lot of twos, just nothing's adding.
Usually I try not to give thanky rolls after 1 o'clock. I give acty rolls. We thought before 1 o'clock. Now we're acting on those rolls. So
Yeah.
I think this is a good spot to cut it. But, awesome. Everybody go ahead and gain 4 XP.
How much have we gained so far? I don't have any
I
record.
have
So
11,
now
so
because I used 4, it's been 3 per game.
it's 15 total.
And is there a certain time frame that we can?
Anytime you want.
Yep, anytime.
Okay, cool.
Even
So if
during
you-
middle of combat.
So if you fail a roll and you want to up your points and roll it again with willpower, by all means.
Shit, I might spend all my points for that.
They spend easily. Be careful.
Well, I would have blown them all and still been negative this last ritual. No more rituals for Sonny.
okay, I am going up a sphere. I think I have an idea of how to play it storyline wise.
What sphere are you lifting?
Mind.
Mind?
I'm going
Oh,
to
shit.
Chantry.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Because I was actually going to go back to my place for a little bit before heading to the department building,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going to try and concentrate and see if I could kind of communicate with Puck
Okay.
and ask him questions about the girl at the college, L.
Okay. I keep on meaning to play Puck during the game. And just throw snide comments at you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're doing pretty good with D.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine a non-ghost in your head version of that just pops in, can sometimes physically affect you. Just that's
I'm not sure this isn't in my head yet.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's my avatar. That's my avatar.
Yeah, I'm with you, Nathan. So I got the same thing running around in my head. Only he tries to bite me occasionally.
Puck doesn't try to bite me. He just throws me through time teleportation, whatever, spatial
Loop.
holes.
I hear you.
All right, you guys have a nice night. I'm gonna go crash.
I'm gonna do the same. And if I have nightmares, I'm calling you, James.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
Later,
That's awesome.
guys. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.